a former player who lives here in the Omaha area. One of his non-favorite moments was they're playing fairly big game, and it was cold out. And so, like, the players, some were like in short sleeves, and they were like fired up. And they looked over, and on the sidelines, their head coach was really, really cold.
Yeah, he's all bundled up.
Listen, doesn't get
this ain't gonna go well.
Doesn't get this cold in Oregon.
He was always he
was a tiny man.
He seemed like he had a pretty cool body temperature.
Listen, when you get older like that, like many of our grandparents, they're cold a lot of the time.
I think so.
They need, need an extra blanket.
Don't the grandparents usually keep it colder in their house, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know. I just know that old people are often cold.
I guess historically, my grandparents' house has been warmer, so maybe I'm wrong.
Because they got bad circulation. They need
when the grandkids come to visit me, my house is always warm, summer or winter.
Oh yeah, that's the thought I think behind it.
I run the house pretty cold,
and then you pile about 45 people in there, and it gets to about 86 degrees.
Did your grandparents, any of you guys, ever, or your great grandparents, ever have the couch with the plastic on it?
No.
I never had that.
Had a weird looking one though.
Like
everything used to be brown.
Yeah, that was popular.
Yeah.
And it was like multiple different shades of brown.
Yeah, like browns and oranges and yellows.
Shag carpet on the wall.
A lot of
yes.
Carpeted walls was a vibe.
Oh, that's legit. Yeah. There's a whole room
the familiar paneling on the wall.
There's a whole room at my grandparents' house that probably hasn't been touched since about 1982. And like it's got the carpet on the wall, it's got a water bed. Like wow. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
So when was the last time the waterbed was slept in?
Oh, probably, every once in a while people come over and visit.
Are you guys old enough to remember when waterbeds were a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever own a waterbed?
I did not. No.
Have you ever gotten busy in a waterbed?
No.
Can't say I have.
No.
Because that's what I originally thought they were for.
Well, that's what beds
are for. I was never going to get a waterbed, but I thought, what's the purpose of a waterbed? And then I was told, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's a niche industry.
I slept in a waterbed probably, I don't know, a handful of times in my life. And it wasn't a horrible experience. It's just a little different when you move around.
I don't think I ever slept in one. I think a couple of my friends had them when I was like,
do they still make them?
Oh, I bet they do.
Let's find out.
It's time to hit the Google machine, I think.
Yeah.
I bet you can buy one on Amazon. You can buy anything on Amazon.
Waterbeds near me.
I think their sales have declined.
Are you buying a used waterbed?
You have to replace the water?
Do you?
But you got the covering and the.
I'm trying not to buy used beds in general.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In general, that's an industry I think you buy new if you can. I understand not everybody's in a position where that's plausible, and you just really hope the sheets are doing the Lord's work there. But
so where do all the beds, like when you buy like from NFM and they come and they take it away?
Yeah.
Where do they send those beds?
Where do those go?
Great question.
I'm guessing a landfill somewhere. If I had to guess. I mean, they should throw them away, right? You're not reselling beds, are
they're not going to Mrs. B's.
Yeah, but not everybody. You don't walk in there and go, whoa,
hang on a minute.
They do have returned beds at Mrs. B's because you have
Mrs.
like
B's.
90 days, I think. And
I just skipped over NFM. I'm just straight up Mrs. B's.
Some of them are pretty clearly used.
That is very on brand for Connor Happer.
Yeah, that's.
I don't even walk in the big store anymore. Straight to Mrs. B's.
It's the same stuff. You'll never know.
But it seems it seems cheaper.
But then you don't get the smell of the Subway shop right there.
Oh, you're right. That is a big deal.
Yeah, got to get the Subway shop.
Actually, I take that back. I bought an office chair from there a couple weeks ago. Lovely office chair. Gary got to see my office. I did. My office setup last night.
Yeah,
it's good. He has his own microphone.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, I got it hooked up to the desk. It's kind of like this. I got it hooked up to the desk.
Fancy.
Yeah, I got multiple monitors in there. I got some pictures in the background. People were asking questions about the pictures that are going on.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty fired up about it.
I like it. That sounds nice.
That's good.
Hey, I don't think everybody can afford a new bed, so that may be where they go.
Yeah, I understand it's a luxury not everyone has. I do think
beds are expensive, man.
If you're making some choices about your finances, I think new over used bed has to be pretty high on the list. If it was me personally, I think that's a must if you can.
Yeah, you'd want to go.
if at all
You wanna go,
possible. Yeah. Like I would sacrifice some other things in order to go new bed.
What about a couch? Would you buy a couch?
I'm better with a couch. I understand you're going to run into some of the same issues.
We recently sold a couch on Facebook Marketplace,
Okay.
and they came and got it. And I thought to myself, I don't think I'd buy a couch from somebody.
I feel better about a leather couch because it cleans a little easier.
Yeah, I would too.
You don't get the juices soaked in quite as same way.
No.
Mm.
But I will say that one of my best couches I ever owned was when I was in college in Lincoln, and we were just driving down the street, and we saw somebody had a couch out on the street, and I'm not sure if they were just like moving, so they left it there, or they were actually selling it. But we picked it up. Turned out to be a pretty good couch.
Sure you did.
It was also probably the last time that I stopped to pick up something just on the side of the road in somebody else's garbage.
Now, when you had to get rid of that couch, what did you do with it?
Well, we just moved out of the
You just left it.
apartment, and we just left everything.
Cool.
It's the way to go. It's a move.
And no forwarding address or anything like that.
Get
So-
your deposit back.
well, the deposit was awful small, so that actually that factored into.
Oh,
us saying-
gotcha. So you're like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna eat this deposit
the
up, but it's
deposit
actually
was like
okay.
$150, and we're like, "Pfft."
Perfect.
Yeah, at a certain point, it's not worth the hassle.
That gives you
Yeah.
the ability to do really whatever you want.
Yes. There's a freedom in a small deposit
That's great.
that you are a little bit more loose with how you handle things.
So now this has brought up an interesting conversation about garage sales. Ravi, have you been to a garage sale recently?
I've been to an estate sale. Does that count?
Okay, that's a little bit more bougie.
It is. No, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in some cases.
Yeah, the one I went to was pretty bougie.
Never been to an estate sale.
It's a elevated garage sale. Usually when someone passes.
Do you and the wife go garage sailing?
No.
Ever been garage sailing?
Not garage sailing, but we may have stumbled upon a garage sale.
Like you don't grab the World Herald on a Saturday morning and say, "Let's go, let's plan a route, and let's go to all these
No.
different garage sales."
I would say that
rifle through other people's.
Is that a thing that
belongings?
still happens that people advertise their garage sales in the World
Yeah.
Herald?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I know they used to. I just didn't know.
I think so.
You
Hey,
see,
the last 2 years,
oh,
a lot
no,
of
you know
junk
what?
piled up in America's homes. We
That's
got to get
true.
rid of it.
It's true.
You know what? I don't think they do because they don't have want ads.
Yeah. So maybe
That's where
it's-
you used to find all the garage sales.
I just see them on like signs
Yeah,
in the
in-
neighborhood.
yeah. It's a you kind
Garage
of have
sale
to
this way.
kind of have to browse while you're driving around.
Well, if you really want good stuff, you pick some of the nicer neighborhoods in
Mhm.
Omaha.
Yep.
Go out on a Saturday, drive through those communities.
Mhm.
Maybe you get lucky and you find a garage sale in a really nice home.
And they don't
That's-
even know what they have.
That's why estate sales are nice because usually it's nicer stuff.
Mm.
You get some quality stuff there.
But garage sailing is still a big thing.
But here's the thing, man. Like, I need less stuff. Like, what am I going to buy at a garage sale that I need and also wouldn't like clutter up my situation that I already have?
So I
Like,
used,
I don't want anything else.
I used to.
I
This
want
has
less stuff.
been a while, but I assembled my first couple of golf sets through garage sales or estate sales, especially
That's
you
been
get
done.
you get people in this part of the country that are moving south permanently, Arizona, Florida. You find them. I've gotten some almost brand new clubs for like pennies on the dollar.
Does it look reasonable though?
What do
Like,
you mean?
if I walked in, if I was randomly paired with you in a foursome, and you walked up with like a slam together,
Yeah, I mean it's.
I would be like, what's going on here?
Well-
This guy got his clubs at a garage sale.
I did, yes,
But
but
can you tell that you got him at a garage sale?
listen, to a very discerning eye, probably
Are your woods wood?
no.
Okay, that's
No,
good.
these are
That'd be a good
very
giveaway.
Yeah.
the ones that I've gotten were bought within like a year or two.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of times when people move, they just like get rid of stuff so they don't have to move it, especially if they're moving out of state. So you can get some pretty quality things that are barely used, and they're like, I'm just gonna get new stuff when I get down there. Especially if you go to some of the nicer neighborhoods where that's an option. So you end up with some pretty good stuff. Now they weren't all matched, obviously, but I think all the irons were matched because usually the irons come in a set, and then the woods were a little pieced together.
I will go if there's like a keyword about sports to look for memorabilia. When I was living in Lincoln, I would drop in on a couple of garage sales to see if anybody has like any old Nebraska football stuff, like media guides, programs,
Mhm.
helmets, or anything like they were just they were
Yeah.
cleaning out the closet and they put them into the garage sale. And I found actually, so I have a really cool Mike Rozier black and white that looks like he signed it when he was playing.
Oh, nice.
that I got for like $1. And then I got a autographed helmet that has a Devaney autograph. It's like one of the old school Nebraska helmets
Whoa.
that I got a Devaney on.
Nice.
That's cool.
And I found that at a garage sale. But I collect media guides. So I have
That's a cool thing. That's a really good thing to
so I
collect.
have every Nebraska media guide going back to 68.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. No kidding.
I
That's
have
great.
bought a lot of, this was when I was younger, but really good baseball cards.
Oh, yeah.
Like people would put them in these like little boxes, these kind of rectangle boxes that flip up. And I think they would just not even look through them and be like, it's $1 for the box. And you could end up with some pretty quality stuff there.
That's a place where the kids are out of the house.
Yes.
They've gone away. They're on to their life.
Mhm.
And I just got to get rid of stuff. And I don't know what's inside of them.
No idea.
And so I'm just selling cards.
Oh yeah, that's what I would be doing. I've probably thrown away or given away stuff that eventually could be valuable. So like I was kind of like you. Like I wanted to keep the stuff from the games that I covered or media guides or whatever it might be. And you think about it, and in however many years, I don't know, maybe that's a collector is looking for that type of stuff. I just don't have the stick-to-itiveness to sit it in my basement and let it sit there for years.
Happer's
and years
not playing the long game here.
I appreciate. I don't have much space, and I don't need like just random stuff sitting there.
See, this is where you need to have parents who are like a little pack ratty.
Yeah, they have some room. They got some stuff that I just left at their house when I moved
Like my
out.
parents just don't go into their basement. They have no reason. The laundry room's in the basement. That's the only thing in the basement they use.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of extra rooms.
So
now,
it's just like
closets.
if I'll buy stuff specifically knowing it's like I don't really have a place for this right now, but I want it, and then just take it over to mom and dad's house. It's fine. It'll be
I
fine.
don't think I'd be a very good collector.
No, it seems like you're a little short-sighted on the
Just-
value proposition.
Get rid of the stuff. I don't want any of this stuff.
You don't have a storage unit? A couple storage units across the country?
No,
Ooh, I don't have any storage units.
no. I don't have a couple storage units across
I
the country.
do have too much storage space in my house for the current occupants, so that helps. I'm not needing a storage unit.
Yeah,
but-
that does help.
You know,
I had a nice store. I'm pretty sure I had some good stuff in a storage unit on Cornhusker Highway in 56th when I was living in Lincoln, and then I forgot to pay the bill.
ooh,
And so
They storage warsed it.
I'll say one of those auction wars
Yeah.
people. Gotcha.
So I think it was there. What I think was in there was some stuff from the 94-95 championship
Ooh.
run.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They were probably pretty happy when they opened that one up.
There
Yeah.
was like a couple of coats in there, a couple of speakers.
Oh, you know what I did find?
Dang.
I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was Goodwill or a garage sale or a estate sale. I found one of the Nebraska starter jackets
Yeah, those go for big money
within
now.
like a year. I think last year I found it. Oh man, I was pumped. I was excited. It actually fit. It was the size that actually fit me.
Oh, yeah, you could probably just wear it.
Which
yeah.
I'll bring it in one day. I'll wear it. It's cold enough. I'm busting that thing out.
Does it smell?
No, got a good. I dry cleaned it. Got a good wash on it.
Dry clean the starter jacket.
Listen.
1995, amazing.
Well, you can't throw that thing in the regular washer; it'll disintegrate.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, hey, extra care on this one, guys. Well, I've got a like a go-to dry cleaner because I have all the suits.
Hey, so
You got a guy?
Oh yeah.
Not just like a place, but you know the guy?
Well, it's the owner. Yeah,
He's got a guy.
you gotta listen. If you have as many suits as I do, you gotta have a guy. You can't just like be taking your suits willy-nilly into dry cleaners.
That's one thing I want more of. I want more suits.
I can help you out. We'll talk
To-
later.
to-
I can help you out.
And then to have a guy that you know at the laundromat.
Yeah, it's huge.
You gotta have a tailor. That's as important as the suits. As you gotta have a tailor.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get these suits, man, and nothing fits my arms because I'm a short man, but I have like a
You're
big
broad.
I have
You're
broad
barrel
chest.
chested.
Yeah, but I have short arms.
yeah, you got to get the.
but I have like thicker arms, so I don't like. I can never
Basically
figure
describing Popeye here.
the
it out. Exactly. I'm jacked.
the standard sizing does not, because we're built similar-ish.
Yeah, right.
The standard
It doesn't
sizing
work.
doesn't work for. So
You would think that I would be, like they plan on for a person of my size to be a little skinnier or a little.
see, my issue is if I
If
get a
describe that, I might steal that line.
if I
That's what Lululemon does, man. They don't make pants for me, and
No.
I'm not even that fat.
no so the size that I need to fit my shoulders and chest, they expect that person to weigh about 150 pounds more than I do.
Exactly.
And so there's
And to be like 6'6".
there's a tenting issue, if you will.
Mhm.
Right.
when I buy those jackets. So luckily my mom was a professional tailor. So I just buy the suits and I'm like, Mom, need some help.
Yeah, we got to
Help me out, Ma. We'll have a conversation. I can help you out. I got a place too.
So you both need to be skinnier or fatter.
Yeah, we're in
That's
the in
correct.
between.
Yeah.
You either have to be
skinnier or taller.
Okay.
or also fatter though, because again, the guys that they put those jackets for are like 6'5", 350.
Yeah,
They're not our size.
the Giants, the Mega Man.
Yeah, it's like, did you play offensive line in the NFL? Great, this jacket's for
we
you.
got one.
Hey,
It's like I played NCCAA Division II basketball. Where's the jacket for that
we don't
guy?
have
for the
that.
guys at Nebraska, God bless Gary Michaels.
I know.
So when they made the decision last year, they wanted their players to wear suits.
And they did that in like a week.
Yeah, so they had them all come into Navat's place and they went through all the sizing. And then they've all got tailored suits. And that might be the only suit they own in their life.
Oh, yeah.
But you look at like all these other college programs that, it's popular now to see them walk into the stadium or getting off the bus, and schools that make their players wear suits. Some of these linemen that are 330
I
and
know.
above, man,
It's
some
tough out
suits
here.
that they're wearing are either the suit that they got in high school,
Like to graduate in.
or they're borrowed it from somebody
Yep.
and it doesn't fit, or it's way too tight. I'm like, I feel for you, man.
There
I've
is
been there.
nothing
Good tailors.
worse than a ill-fitting suit and nothing better than a perfectly tailored suit. Like the extremes are off the charts.
That should just be an automatic NIL deal for everybody.
Yeah.
Is the suit?
Just
Yes.
get the suits done.
Well, because you can use it for a job interview.
Yeah.
I mean, like
you
all
could,
these
you
guys.
could play it off as an educational
So that
purpose.
was like I'll give credit. Frost and Davidson, when they approached Gary, they were talking about they want all their players to get suits. Could they do a deal? And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
we
it's
gotta-
it's 150
because
suits.
and not
yeah.
everybody. I mean, everybody is so different.
Yeah, it's a
and-
custom suit for each guy.
And they don't regularly make the large.
It's
for the
all coming on special
350.
order. Yeah.
But one of the things that I remember, because Navat told me the story, is that Frost said, a lot of these guys, this will be the only suit they maybe own. And also, when they go on a job interview, all of a sudden they have a fitted suit when they're done playing football, and they go and they interview, whatever job they're going to get with their degree.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And it wasn't too flashy either. It was just a black suit.
Yeah, just a nice
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Just a nice standard suit.
A lot of those guys go pro in something other than sports. I don't know
Thank
if you
you,
guys knew
John.
that.
There it is.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, NCAA. We need that message. All right, guys. Thank you. That's the crossover, and we'll start things off on a Monday next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
I was DD for some nice young co-eds. They wanted to go to a frat house. They didn't want to let me in the frat house. I said, no, that's not the way this is going down, gentlemen.
Nice.
They said something to me. I said something profane, and it was go time.
Let's go.
That's an honorable reason to get in a fight. All of mine were exceedingly dumb.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast, presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch, from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Much cooler Monday behind a cold front, cloudy and breezy in the morning. Northwest winds gusting around 20 miles per hour. There's a chance for spotty showers late morning through the afternoon. Any rain should be light in the metro. Afternoon highs around 57. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
It's Halloween at Genesis Health Clubs. Join with no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 20% per month every month. Omaha, it's the spookiest time of the year, but starting a new fitness routine doesn't have to be scary. Genesis is transforming fitness here in Omaha with our fully remodeled Cass, West Roads, and Terra Plaza locations, plus new locations at 132nd and Center and Midtown Crossing. Come see our just finished luxury remodel at 84th and Q with all new finishes, equipment, and amenities for the best fitness experience in Omaha. Whatever your fitness needs, Genesis is here to help every step of the way, and there's nothing scary about that. This Halloween, join Genesis Health Club with no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 20% per month every single month. But hurry, this offer will end before you have a chance to count your Halloween candy. It ends on Halloween and won't extend. Come to Genesis and get in the best shape of your life so you can handle anything those zombies, werewolves, and vampires throw at you. Go to GenesisHealthClubs.com before Halloween and get no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 20% per month every month. This offer will not extend.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
From the four corners of the globe, the world's greatest set their sights on one goal. The Breeders' Cup World Championships are coming to iconic Keeneland this November 4th and 5th. Over 2 days and 14 championship races, the pinnacle of international thoroughbred racing will put the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding spectacle before your very eyes. Coverage begins Friday on USA and continues Saturday on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com/2022 to learn more.
West Omaha, you're in for a treat. Cops is now open at 180th and Center. Famous for their pizza and wings, but with their new location comes an extensive new menu that includes salmon, certified Angus beef fillets, ribeyes, New York strips, several pasta dishes, salads, and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Now open at Shadow Lake Town Center and 180th and Center. Click copspizza.com to see the menu. Pizza, steaks, pasta, salads, and so much more.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
I choose to invade the state of Minnesota and steal PJ Fleck. He's rowing the boat into Lincoln.
They hired PJ Fleck for this job. I will quit. September 13, 2022, I will state my resignation at 1620 The Zone if they hire PJ Fleck.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8 Monday through Friday or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Iowa Western Community College and Multicare Medical on 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Rooferees.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. Happy Monday. It's the Connor Happer Show with you here on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Otson, back to game week. Maybe the coaching search will heat up a little bit this week. I don't know. Either way, we will get a 2023 Big Ten schedule this week. 2023 could and probably will be the final year of the Big Ten West. But we did make it. We did make it through this year and through next year. Long live the greatest sickos division in college football, where nobody knows what's going to happen. This sounds like a research project that would just, it would confirm my research. Sounds like a potential spreadsheet, though. How much lower do you think the totals in a Big Ten West versus Big Ten West game are versus any other divisional game versus its division in the country?
Ooh,
there's 10 Power 5 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess no, the Big 12 doesn't have divisions. The ACC has 2, the SEC has 2, the Big Ten has 2, the Pac-12 has 2. So there's basically 9. There's 4 Power 5 conferences with divisions.
I mean, ACC tends to score some points.
Mm-hmm.
Pac-12 South when USC was pretty bad.
I know the Big Ten West would be the lowest. It's just a matter of how low.
Mm-hmm.
It's how much lower than everybody else.
Yeah.
As exemplified, have you seen the early odds this week on a Big Ten West game to take place on Saturday featuring Iowa and Northwestern?
A real sickos all-star game.
This is as good as it gets.
I have not, no.
I saw it as low when it opened as 31.5. I'm now seeing it on the FanDuel Sportsbook at 35.5 because people have just said, I don't care how bad you are. There's going to be 30 combined points in this game, right?
I'm sitting here. I can't definitively say that.
So it's now up to on the FanDuel Sportsbook at 35.5. Iowa, by the way, did reach their team total on Saturday. 9.5. They got to 10.
They did not get shut out.
They need it. Well,
the offense did not score a touchdown.
Thank you.
How about that?
Thank you.
You were on
I was
track.
I think I played it right. The odds just, I just didn't get the bounce that I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were about 8 possessions in that game in the first 7 minutes. And you were thinking to yourself, oh boy, the dam's going to break for Iowa soon. And it did. It did. Not much going there on offense. Not really sure how you can live that way. They have a pretty good defense, but you're not going to be able to hold up against Iowa State. Ohio State doing that. Kyle asks if that's a big noon kickoff game. No, it's not. It's a 2:30. I assume it's a big BTN game. But let me take a look here real quick. But that is what we have on tap for this weekend, which should be extremely fun. The big noon game this week is Ohio State and Penn State.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. We have Northwestern and Iowa kicking off on ESPN2 at 2:30. We also have Michigan State and Michigan this upcoming weekend in the Big Ten. And then another sickos game between Rutgers and Minnesota, and another sickos game in Lincoln, Nebraska between number 17 Illinois and Nebraska. 2:30 ABC. Selected for
ABC.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Josh. Selected for national TV, network television. How do you feel about that? I'm just glad. I just get a certain amount of nostalgia whenever Nebraska's not on Fox. I enjoy that. I love when they're on ABC or ESPN. It makes me
a brand.
Yeah, it makes me that it's been a lot less over the last couple of years. Really, I think there was one game last year, the Wisconsin game. And then going back to like just during the Frost era, I think there's probably there's less than a handful that have been on the ESPN family of networks. So that'll be fun on Saturday. We have, Tennessee and Kentucky. That's a football game that's worth watching. Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Should be a good slate of football coming up on Saturday, but a lot to get to before that. I do want to touch on the Big Ten stuff. So Scott Docterman of The Athletic today released a little bit of an update. The part of it is no divisions, but we'll also see a Big Ten schedule at some point this week. And usually when you say at some point this week, it means sooner rather than later. Over, I would imagine in the next 24 hours or so, maybe even today. Nebraska gets a commitment over the weekend from a local prospect that we've been talking about for quite some time. Beer has been sold at Pinnacle Bank Arena during a basketball game. I don't think I don't know, but I don't think there was any issues.
Okay.
I was not at the game in Lincoln, but I did not see any beers flying onto the floor. I did not see any people fighting in the stands about Blaze Keita needing more minutes or something like that.
No malice at the Palace last night?
No,
Okay.
I think everything went over pretty well.
Wow.
Against Shadron State.
Against all odds. They pulled it off.
Yeah,
huh?
really unbelievable.
Wow.
It's a fantastic job by them. Mike Schaefer will join at 11:30. Mike Sautter will join as well. We have a high school football playoff bracket that is ready and will actually this has been the really positive thing over the last couple of years as I think Class A football has gotten deeper. We're going to see some good first round matchups. Usually, I mean, in the past, it's been basically, your 1 through 8s they're moving on. Maybe there was a little trouble in that 7-10 or the 8-9 game, but your 1 through 8s are moving on. Not so much the case this time around. In fact, I think there's a couple cases for this coming Friday where some double-digit seeds are going to be, favorites, quote unquote. Not that there's betting lines on this, favorites for their games. And it should lead to a great quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course, finals coming up at the end of November. So we'll talk to Sautter about that in the noon hour. Got to eat popcorn with him at the Elkhorn South game on Friday.
Wow, thanks for the invite.
Yep. I also took a bite of his burger.
Wow.
Yeah, so he does a bit where he tries out concession stand food. Great bit.
It is a great bit.
Great bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, he also had a burger. I was like, I want to try the burger too. There was no mustard or ketchup or anything on that. So that was sort of sad. So we'll talk to Sautter about high school football, the playoff brackets that have been released, and we'll pour through those in the noon hour. The lineup is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the Big Ten. I still have some stuff left over from last week on just the future of Nebraska football and the sort of direction it might be headed, and we'll preview the week, and we'll talk about, well, why don't we just do this right off the bat just to set the tone here. Now, I love baseball, but I really love a great baseball moment. And I do love in October when the baseball crowds turn into usually it's we're sitting around. Yeah, I'll show up to the ballpark. I'm going to have a beer. I'm going to have a hot dog. I'm going to sit there for a while, maybe take a lap around the stadium. Now, this is a football game environment. Let's go to Philadelphia, where, of all people, Josh, Bryce Harper. You seem unenthused by this. Bryce Harper.
Well, no, I mean, it's just the first time in a dozen years he's done anything of note.
This is the moment of his career.
Yeah.
This is the moment of Bryce Harper's career as he sends the Phillies basically to the World Series.
Hey,
eventually.
Play.
Yeah.
What are we not playing for? Oh, okay, the site's muted. There we go.
Hits one in the air, left center field. Back it goes. Harper, the swing of his life.
Just nuts. By the way, we often talk about during the playoffs and before that how weird the World Series will be without the sound of Joe Buck. We've been eased into it a little bit. Joe Davis has done a nice job.
He has. He hasn't been the story at all, which he's blended into the background.
No, I think he does. I think he does a pretty good job, and he nailed that one. The swing of his life.
Mm-hmm. An accurate statement.
Bryce Harper. Do we start things off with a little bit of a baseball take here? So what do we do? How do we celebrate this fact that the Philadelphia Phillies, who were an 87-win team, are in the World Series? I think it's really cool for, and I talked about this a little bit last week, but I think it's great for these individual markets in these individual cities. Kansas City was definitely one of these markets in 2014 and 15. You couldn't watch the Royals those years and not say, man, I just think that's really, really cool. It's the same thing with the Phillies this year. Do they belong here? The playoffs are, you make the playoffs by the rules that you were given out in front of you. That is an 87-win team that's going to the World Series. Not that that's that uncommon.
Braves were an 88-win team last year.
It happens. It happens.
And beat the Astros in the World Series.
What I'm saying is the more we expand the playoffs and the more people we allow into the playoffs, teams we allow into the playoffs, we are going to see, and it doesn't mean it has to be a mismatch in the World Series. I mean, even though the Astros have started the playoffs at 7-0 so far, and by the way, we need the Phillies to win at all costs to not match the Royals 8 in a row that they won to start the 2014 postseason, just to keep that thing alive. But every once in a while in this format, you're going to end up with an 85-win team, an 86-win team, hell, maybe even an 82-win team into the World Series, winning a pennant. Is that good? Is that good for baseball? Is it good for the individual markets? Absolutely. Yep. No doubt about it. Is it good for baseball? I'm not so sure. I mean, baseball is it's a sport that it gives us such a great sample size. There are 162 games, and we know exactly who you are by the end of that 162. If you just so happen to get hot at the end and you feel like, man, and this has now happened with a whole bunch of National League representatives in the World Series over the last 5 or so years. But how many times have we said it? I think it's 3 times in a row now. The National League representative in the World Series has been a team that was at or near 500 at a checkpoint of the season. Whatever that might be, June 1st, July 1st, even August 1st, in the neighborhood of 500. We've talked about these teams getting there. The Major League season is about a full body of work, not if you're playing your best baseball at a certain time. Now, that's part of the game. And that's part of any sport that we have and any playoff format that we have. But I do think we have so much sample size in the regular season in baseball that it's hard for me to be like, man, yeah, well, I think it's great that the Phillies with 87 wins or another team coming soon can win a World Series potentially, but only win half of their games during the regular season.
I mean, it's probably not good that 3 100-win teams in the National League didn't even make the NLCS, let alone the...
And some of this you can't help. Like some of this you can't help. So, like you said, maybe these 100-win teams are just going to be playing each other, and somebody's got to go. Right? Some of it you can't help. But I think the answer for baseball is less in the playoffs. And it's not about who watches the World Series or anything like that. I just want I think in baseball it's really important that the best 2 teams are in the World Series. I don't think it's necessarily that way in I don't know, you can make the argument for all the other sports. I guess it's just a matter of preference. But I think the sample size is such a significant thing, and it changes the game so drastically when we're talking about 3-game series and 5-game series. And that is, a team that has, even in the previous format, you win the wild card game, or you end up in the wild card game because you're the second best team in your division, and maybe you've won 100 games still, or you won 98 games, and you end up there against an 87-win team, and the 87-win team, it's a 50-50 game. It's a baseball game. It's the least predictable 1-game sport that we have. It is better over a large sample. And that's where we are. Also, an Omahan will get a ring this year.
Either way.
Alec Boehm, Jake Myers, both in the World Series. Well, I don't know if Jake will be on the roster, but he gets a ring.
He will.
Gets a ring.
Robinson Cano will not. All 3 teams that he was a part of this season have been eliminated.
Really wanted that for Robbie. Okay. All right. We'll take a phone call from Alan. Hi, Alan.
Hey, guys. Yeah, so back in 2014, I really think that the Royals hit their stride. And just a couple years ago, I thought they were going to step it up when Prince Harry decided to marry Meghan Markle. But apparently, I think that's kind of falls flat. So that's just my take on the Royals as we sit here today. So
thank you, Alan. Is this a bit? Is this an every time I talk about the Royals thing, Alan calls in and he talks about the Royal family?
Specifically in this first segment of the show, yes. I knew it was coming, and still, as we stand here today, got me to chuckle.
Now this is fair on the text line as well. If you win 100 games, probably should beat the 80-some win team in front of you. And yeah, it still comes down to that.
Yeah, I think your bigger takeaway is in like 10 or 15 years, you're going to look at the number of stars and Hall of Famers that the Dodgers had and go, why'd they only get one pandemic title?
They only won one time? Seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do have a World Series, and it will be lit in Philadelphia when they roll around to Game 3. How much would you pay to be in the building for Game 3 of the World Series in Philadelphia, which would be, I think, Monday?
Yeah. Game 1 not till Friday. I think people are going to forget about baseball this week, and Friday rolls around and they go, "Oh, baseball's not done yet?"
So, okay. Yeah. Friday is Game 1, Saturday is Game 2, Monday is Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
On ESPN, it has the, tickets are as low as. For Game 3, tickets are as low as $994.
Oh.
If you're interested there.
That's a good get-in price.
Yeah, I think you'd be better off trying to, win your way in.
Oh, okay.
Maybe...
Do we have tickets for that?
Yeah, maybe tweet at some people, tweet at your favorite player and say, hey, if you get any left over, just let me know. Take a couple shots like that.
Hey, Alec, I am currently living in Omaha, and I hate it here.
They caught him during the beer drinking fiasco afterwards. And, hey, you got one more thing to say to the fans? He's like, I love it here.
That's
beautiful
nice.
Story.
That's nice.
Did you see where they put Bryce Harper's home run under the Moneyball music?
No.
It's good stuff.
This might shock you, Connor. I didn't go out searching a bunch of Bryce Harper.
Oh, come on.
Hey, no, I just hope he doesn't
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
He's going to get suspended and cost his team the World Series like he did in 2010.
Whoa. Hold on.
What?
What did Bryce Harper ever do to you?
He was the Sports Illustrated cover guy, highly
not that guy
touted
anymore.
athlete, and then he walked into the JUCO World Series and he got suspended.
Oh, this is an Iowa Western.
It's an Iowa Western thing. Yes, Iowa Western won the 2010 JUCO World Series where Bryce Harper graced the sport with his appearance, argued balls and strikes, got tossed, costing his team the World Series.
Yeah. He lit the JUCO world on fire that year.
Sails up.
You're still holding a grudge from 12 years ago.
I'm just saying he's not as good as advertised.
Well, what do you want him to be? He's very good.
That's a clown question, bro.
He's very good. He's very, very good.
He's very good.
And he has hit a point of his career, I think, where things have slowed down for him a little bit. I think we're used to him. The sport is adjusted, right? And he is now we can allow him to be who he is. And I don't mind where it's landed for Bryce Harper.
The exit from Washington to Philly, it kind of humbled him. He's sort of like, okay,
Yep.
I gotta stay down a little bit. I gotta cool off a little bit. And I was thinking of eliminating him from my enemies list, but then he eliminated the Braves from his teams I'm going to play this season list.
Yep.
And it's right back up there.
All right, Josh, still not on board with Bryce Harper, still holding a grudge from the 2010 Junior College World Series.
That's right.
Got it?
Oh, like nobody listening to this hasn't harbored a 12-year-old grudge.
Huh.
There's no random baseball player you hate for the last 12 years, Connor.
Not that I think about on a regular basis.
Oh,
Bryce Harper has got rent free in your head, man.
that may be true.
He's doing fine.
No, I've seen his wife. He's doing fine.
We before we take a break here, we have a little bit of news in for a kickoff update. Nebraska and Minnesota in a couple weeks, November 5th.
Row the boat.
The Big Ten Conference has announced that the conference TV partners will use a 6-day pick option for 5 of the 7 games on November 5th. And that would include Nebraska's home game with Minnesota. The 6-day pick option does eliminate prime time as a possible kickoff window. The kickoff time will be communicated after this weekend's games, either late Saturday night or early Sunday morning. So that's right. You heard that correctly. Nebraska will play Minnesota on November 5th. We don't know what time or what network they will be on yet.
Michigan, Minnesota is the night game, if I remember correctly.
Wait, say it again. Michigan.
Michigan. Whoever Michigan's playing that weekend was selected to be the night game.
Rutgers?
Less confident about what I'm saying now.
Well, Michigan's playing Rutgers.
Okay, maybe that was a different week. Maybe that was in 2 weeks.
If Nebraska wins this weekend, they're in the best slot imaginable for that game because the rest of the Big Ten slate that week is crap.
Well, isn't that what the Big Ten's saying by holding off times for 5 of the 7 games?
Yeah, we're going to see what happens this week.
We don't know who's good. We don't know who's bad.
We're going to play it by ear.
Just hang on.
The old 6-day window. All right. Want to hear from you guys in the show today. As always, 402-951-1620. That's the way to get in touch with the show. Once again, Schaefer will join at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk about Nebraska's latest commitment and a commitment during a span of an interim coach, which is interesting in and of itself, although at times it doesn't feel like Nebraska has an interim coach. It is a big week for said interim coach. If they win, his hype train goes full steam ahead. It becomes an unstoppable force at that point. Plenty to talk about here on a Monday edition of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Now, anytime is the time. Just sign up with promo code Happer. Right now is a great time in sports because we are mixing up a whole lot of different things. You got a World Series bet that you're interested on. You could pick the individual games that the Phillies are going to win in or that the Astros are going to win in. A great slate of NFL games, a great slate of college games, futures on all those sports. The NBA is back. The NHL is back. There is endless options for you. And you can dive in further than the money line and the point spread. Same game parlays are there for you. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up today with promo code Happer for your first no sweat bet. Promo code Happer. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
You know, if COVID taught us anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click drinklocalnebraska.com.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now, 402-671-7777.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options, and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Want to do something nice for a veteran? Then stop by any 42 Degree location and receive an extra discount with your donation of can or box food and hygiene products for the Veterans Food Pantry of Omaha. Donate 2 cans and receive an extra 5%. 4 get you 10%. 6 or more, 15%. With multiple locations, the most knowledgeable and friendliest staff, and a drop-off point for all your food and hygiene products for the Veterans Food Pantry. 42 Degrees, the source by your mom's house.
Rich Eisen from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. A historic night potentially in the making in Foxborough when Bill Belichick can pass George Halas on the all-time coaching list by beating guess who? The Chicago Bears. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call on air or on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1620, The Zone.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just 1 pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
1 pill, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal pre-mixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limits apply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
A friend of the show and college football insider Brett McMurphy has wished yet another coach a happy birthday on Twitter. Says, happy birthday to Washington's Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, yeah.
Who
Happy
turns
birthday.
48 today. Happy birthday, Kalen.
They got a win over Cal by 7 instead of 7.5.
Interesting.
Thanks, Kalen.
Was that a 4-quarter pick and pick for you?
No, it was a parlay pick for me.
I believe that I went 3-1 in 4-quarter pick and picks.
You went 3-1. I went 3-1. Caller Chad went 3-1
Yeah,
as well.
I feel bad. I mean, we don't have any stakes here, but if I went 3-1 and I had $1,620 bucks on the line, I don't think that I would forgive the team that messed it up for me.
I believe Maryland messed it up for Chad. He had Maryland minus 14.
Maryland messed it up for me. I know that.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
I can go back to the old sheet here.
The old graphic.
Let's see, Chad. Chad had Bama.
That hit.
He had Ole Miss.
That's the one.
Plus 1.5. He had Okie State, and he had the G-Men. Underdogs covered that way. Okay, so you went 3-1. I went 3. So we're on. Hey, look, good showing that weekend last weekend for the Connor Happer show.
Yeah, we did great.
Good job by us. Let's just do a quick little add up just for
Yeah, I don't think anyone went over, but
Josh. Let's go with Josh P. Didn't cover on K-State. Didn't cover on UCLA.
oh
Don't know how Arizona State did.
yeah, I did.
And the Titans won by enough, right?
They did.
Yeah, the Titans won by 9.
Stanford won 15-14
Over
against
Arizona State.
Yeah.
Dang. So 2-2 for Josh P. Or no, 1-3 for Josh P.
Sad.
John, Okie State covered. UCLA did not. Chiefs covered. Jets covered. 3-1 for John. Nice. Nick, no Purdue. Got TCU. That's a good pick when most people were going up for K-State.
Nick Zags.
I like that. Ravens didn't cover the 6.5. Dolphins, did they? No, they won 16-10, right?
Correct.
Mm.
Could have been 19-10.
Nah, I don't think we're going to take a 2-possession lead.
Nah.
It seems like a bad idea.
Nah.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. Well, Mike McD goes by the beat of his own drum, I think. Or the analytics drum, I suppose. Wow, Gary went off the board for a lot of these.
I did.
I have no idea how Duke and Liberty did.
Duke beat Miami 24 by 24.
Got them.
Miami turned the ball over 8 times.
Do we know how Liberty did?
Liberty, I saw the highlights. I believe they won.
Do we know how Texas Tech did?
Oh yeah, Liberty beat BYU 41-14.
Look at this. Okay, these are good. These are good ones. And Texas Tech smashed West Virginia
48-10.
And I don't think the Falcons. No, the Falcons got the crap kicked out of them, right?
35-17 to Joey B.
3-1. So 3-1 for a lot of us.
Okay.
This past weekend.
Look at us. We know how to pick football games.
See, we're smart. And 3-1 by listener Chad. Unfortunately, close only counts in horse grenades. And Chad does not get the $1,620. And it lives on. Okay. Let's talk about this Big Ten thing here real quick. So this morning, we're getting an update. We're getting a schedule update soon this week and what the 2023 schedule will look like inside the walls of the Big Ten. But one of the things that we wondered about is, would the Big Ten just decide to say, actually, we're headed this way anyway. Let's go ahead and kill the divisions right now. And we'll go with a mix of teams. The answer to that question has been revealed, and the answer to it is no. The Big Ten West will survive for yet another year. Now, the Big Ten East, I guess, will survive too, but nobody actually cares about that. The Big Ten West and the divisional format in the Big Ten survives, which makes a whole lot of sense, Josh, because the Big Ten's adding USC and UCLA in 2024. So they will enact the new scheduling model that year, whatever that ends up looking like. That will be a large part of, I think, what we talk about during the summer. Unless they announce all this stuff at the same time, I think that'll be a large part of what we talk about during the summer. What's the pod going to be like? And they'll gather feedback from all of these individual schools that have who they want to play. And not everybody's going to get their way here, but if that's the way they go, and I think that is the way to go, when the Big Ten will have 16 teams in 2024, it will be divisionless, as most conferences in college football will be.
No need to tweak your schedule this year and then tweak it again in 24.
Scott Docterman of The Athletic. Well, I want to talk to him at some point this week because we got to talk about Iowa too.
That's his day job, so to speak.
But he's also reporting a lot in the Big Ten and all this, the noise at the top. Docterman reports there was strong consideration to revamp from geographic divisions to a single conference entity for 2023, but there were too many issues to implement for next season. Among the most discussed issues for Big Ten administrators and school officials include the desire to unveil one new system for USC and UCLA rather than in consecutive years, the number of protected games and television concerts, right? I mean, that is a sensible thing that the Big Ten did. They said, hey, instead of doing 2 new formats, and we'll have a weird one-off year with 2023 with no USC and UCLA, but we will have a different format with no divisions. Like, what? Why would we do that? We have a model, we have a setup right now, and then we will change it when we cross that bridge, and the Big Ten will cross that bridge prior to the 2024 season. The Big Ten's new media rights deal goes into effect next year, and this is a piece of this. But 23 is a bit of a bridge, a go-between year. CBS will only have 7 Big Ten games because of its contract that's still in place with the SEC. That number doubles +1 in 2024 when CBS is off the SEC. So maintaining the current East-West structure allows the league's new partners to showcase 2 postseason races, maintain key rivalries, and air its most attractive games. And that is the sort of update from Doctorman. School officials have become anxious about setting their 2023 schedule, so rather than have unintended consequences, as Kevin Warren told The Athletic 2 weeks ago, the league chose the status quo before determining the future format. And we will get the schedule when we get it. Now, who will Nebraska open the season with in 2023 before they hit the road to Boulder in their first game? That will be worth speculating. The old schedule that was taken down weeks or months ago. That had Nebraska opening the season with Minnesota. And then there's crossover opponents that are in there too. Now, we don't know what's going to be on there, if they will tweak at all, or if it'll just look similar to the previous schedule that we once had. Kyle tweets into the show, and you can do the same at Happer Show on the JTech Instruction Zone Twitter feed. It should be mandatory you guys pick Iowa Northwestern this weekend. Should we be forced to pick Iowa Northwestern?
Yes. And a score.
Wow. In and over under?
Yeah. Let's really dive into this. Let's get sick.
You're on board with me. You're with me on the whole sicko thing?
I would rather a football game be interesting, even if it's interesting bad.
Yes. I love watching Iowa. I would hate watching Iowa if they were my team.
A lot of teams won by 2 touchdowns this weekend, and the games just didn't feel interesting at all.
Okay, so there you go. Iowa and Northwestern. We will have to pick it. Current line sits at about Iowa 10.5 or 11.
Wow.
Depending on where you get it. So yes. How about Iowa covering the 11 points and still coming in under the 35.5? That would be a bit of a challenge, but it can be done. Iowa's defense is good. Do not be mistaken. Yeah. Do not be mistaken. Now, unfortunately, they had to play Ohio State, who could do just about anything that you want, that they want to you, with their wide receivers and the way that they can run the ball and how physical they are. Iowa, obviously Ohio State's a bad matchup for anybody, but they can't do much of anything on offense. They even brought in Padilla, and he fumbled the first snap, and that was pretty comical. But even outside of that, when he got his legs underneath him, it's not like that really did anything to help their offense. Sure didn't.
Do you think there was just a little bit of joy between the Ferences when Alex came in and didn't do well?
See, told you.
See,
what's this gonna fix? It's the entire thing that's bad. It's not just the quarterback. They are right about that. They like, if that's the point that they were trying to get across over the last 2 weeks, what's it going to do to put a new starting quarterback in there when our entire offense is broken?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't complete the sentence, but the question was, we just don't know the upside, right? That's what Brian said.
We're in practice every week. We know what we're dealing with here, gang.
Yeah, we got it. And the problem is not limited to the quarterback. Now, people want to see change. You could draw a lot of conclusions. This is when any team has problems. We could bring it back to Nebraska too. When you have problems, people want to change. People want to do something different. Let's just see something else So, almost just for the fact of I want to see it, right? Well, when that happens, you usually come to the pretty quick realization that either A, the quarterback wasn't a problem in the first place, or B, it doesn't really matter who you have in there at quarterback because your entire thing is broken. And you're going to come to one of those two realizations. And I think Iowa probably knew the answer to the question before they played Alex Padilla against Ohio State on Saturday. Oh yeah, this isn't necessarily a Spencer Petras deal.
Mm-hmm.
Our entire offense is broken. I just don't know how you can live that way. Like they're trying, They haven't been able to run the ball really well in a long time.
That punter sure wasn't able to run the ball.
Trying that too. Just pulling out all the stops.
He's their best player. If he can't do it, what chance did the Hawkeyes have?
We get an email from John on the Equitable Bank inbox. I don't understand how USC and UCLA can even be joining the league in 24. It's only 2 years to integrate them into the schedule, and we all know that football games must be scheduled at least 7 years in advance because of logistics, right? All right. One positive part of the pandemic is we learned that it doesn't actually take 7 years to schedule a football game. Now, it's nice to have it, right? It's nice to have, and we're getting a little antsy about the 23 schedule right now, and it's a conference schedule. You sort of want to know. But I do appreciate how that sort of the pandemic sort of taught us that. Oh yeah, we could put BYU in Coastal Carolina and we could make this happen within like 4 days. And there's all the travel and the COVID concerns anyway. Now, is it a good situation? No, but it's definitely possible. All right. We will come back. Mike Schaefer will join here in just a little bit. I want to bounce a big Mickey Joseph topic off of him and a Nebraska football future question. But we'll spend a couple minutes on Malachi Coleman, Nebraska's new commitment next year in 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duct Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Want to know the difference between 42 degrees and our competition? Our customers. With over 1,200 five-star reviews, we are proud to say that our customer service is the best in town. Curious to know what our customers rate most every time? It's our knowledge of the products and how friendly and professional our sales staff is. Stop in, talk to our staff, and see for yourself why 42 degrees is the source. Buy your mom's house.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects mix of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The big box stores have a secret. When you walk out the door with a new purchase, that's where the service ends. At Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, you get great deals on brands like Hustler, Toro, Honda, and Steel. Plus, you get a dedicated, experienced service center. With annual maintenance and repairs, your equipment will last longer and perform when you need it most. See us in Lincoln, Omaha, or Gretna and get 10% off your residential service. Visit TysOutdoorPower.com, promo code radio, or mention radio to redeem.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
We'll go deeper on Malachi Coleman when Mike Schaefer joins us here in just a couple minutes. But Nebraska got a commitment on Saturday. A one that's been a long time coming, I think. And this is a recruitment that is sort of woven and had some, I don't know about roller coasters. I think he was always pretty high on Nebraska, and that Mickey Joseph, it was certainly a really big part of that. But it's been an interesting recruitment from the standpoint of, looking elsewhere, looking around, seeing what else is out there for him, and ultimately coming to the conclusion that maybe this is the best place for him. I wonder what happens with Malachi Coleman in his college career. I think he's a really, he's a pretty special athlete. Obviously, he's incredibly fast. One of the top guys in the 100-meter dash that we've seen in a while in the state, and guy can really run. Hasn't played as much because of injury as much as you wanted to sort of see this year, but really started to shine last year for Lincoln East on a team that had a lot of guys around him and a guy that could get him the ball, and Noah Walters. I've said this and I've maintained this. I want to talk to Schaefer about it in a minute. I would love to see him beef up and play a little, edge position, little defense. I thought he was pretty special there. And not just because he was running past everybody last year, but, and I haven't seen him this year, but his quickness, and then that burst. So, you could sort of engage with a guy, push past him, swim over, go around. I was really intrigued with the way, now he moves really, really fluidly, I think, on the offensive side of the ball, and could make a pretty decent wide receiver as well, and I think that's what he's going to be. But I do wonder what the future. You could take the ball of clay and sort of mold it whichever way you want, and I'll just be interested to see what Nebraska ends up doing with this. But the bigger question here, and I think it's more about what the commitment of Malachi Coleman means than anything else. Have we seen a have we seen a commitment under an interim coach? Have you ever seen that before? Now, there are a lot of reasons why Mickey Joseph doesn't exactly feel like a stopgap, right? I think you think interim coach, especially when you fire your coach on September 11th, and you think, all right, interim coach. I mean, when they fired Mike Riley, I don't know who was the interim coach for like 2 days was Trent Bray, right? Everybody was like, oh, okay. When you have had interim people in charge before, it's for a placeholder. It is because you need to have somebody in the athletic department that occupies the office, that answers the phone when you have a football program and you have a head coach for that football program. Mickey Joseph is not that. Mickey Joseph is, as we talked about plenty, and we'll talk about with Schaefer in a minute, actively continuing to recruit Nebraska as if he is actually the head coach, which, I mean, he is at the moment. But just the approach is so much different than I think you see in any other interim situation, and there's a lot of reasons why, because I think Mickey, is sort of brought on as a different piece. Mickey and Bill Bush brought on separately, and they, I think, intend to be here next year. We'll see how the remainder of the season plays out. And then you also have, there's a chance that this guy gets the head coaching position. So they're going to do everything they can. It's just the way that, regardless of if Mickey gets the head coach job or not, what he has done this year and what he will continue to do over the next 5 games will really put Nebraska in a much, 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 much better position than they could have been in post when Scott Frost was fired. And he deserves a lot of credit for that, for the way he approaches things and for the way the staff is approaching things. That is regardless of if they win football games or not. And whether or not he gets the job, Mickey Joseph has done a fantastic job. And once again, just another example, who commits to an interim coach? Who commits to an interim coach? It just doesn't happen very much. Like, I don't know if there's stats on this, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of other situations that are like this, where a high profile, top 150 player, high 4-star guy has committed to an interim coach. And I don't think he's committed to, and he's also not the kind of guy, this is important to throw in there too, I don't think Malachi is the kind of person or player who would just say, oh yeah, I'm all Nebraska all the way, no matter what. I don't think that's the case here either. Nebraska's gotten commitments from guys in state in, flux classes before, where there's new coaches coming in and, the kids from in-state usually decide, oh, well, I'm going to stay because I'm all Nebraska all the way. I don't think Malachi falls into that category. I think there was a legitimate chance that they could have lost him to elsewhere, especially where, when all the stuff's going on in Nebraska. And he had options. But it's, I think this is a reflection, and obviously I'm excited about Malachi as a player and just to see what they turn him into. But I think this is more of a reflection, or the talking point maybe should be, whoa, this is just, when you think about it, really cool, the job that Mickey Joseph has done so far, and the rest of his staff on staying on board with this thing, continue to push, continuing to recruit, and recruiting like I'm trying to get the job, number one. And I don't think it's just, selfish personal reasons that Mickey Joseph is still out there doing his thing, and that high school coaches are around the area on Friday night and elsewhere Friday night around the country. I think it'd be easier than you think to say, what are we going to get out of this? Who are we recruiting for? Are we recruiting for ourselves? Are we recruiting for the next guy? Or are we recruiting for the University of Nebraska? And that's one of the things that Mickey Joseph has made very clear right away. All the credit goes, to him and his staff on this, because it's really, it's a good look it's a good look for the University of Nebraska.
I have found one person's research
Oh.
on the interim to head coach.
Oh, good. Somebody's
path.
actually done this research. Great.
It's a very small sample size. It is from the years of 2008 to 2015. There were 19 head coaches with the interim tag. One of them became the full-time head coach, had the interim tag dropped, however you want to word it. I believe that was Mike Loxley at Maryland.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't an interim.
He wasn't?
No, because they when they fired DJ Durkin with all that stuff, Matt Canada took over.
Okay,
And that was the worst thing ever.
That's when Mike went to Alabama, right? And then he came back to Maryland.
So he was at New Mexico State.
Okay.
Before that, and then he ended up at Alabama in the rehabilitation school.
Okay, so it was not a direct path. So he's not the one, but it was one. Number of those coaches who earned the respective head coaching job, 1 out of 19.
Does it do number of coaches who got a commitment during their interim time?
I don't see that data.
Yeah.
4 of the 18 stayed on staff. 1 of the 18 went on to a head coaching job somewhere else.
Interesting. Yeah, and then there's the whole Mickey thing and what happens with him at the end of the year as well. Absolutely a candidate for the job. Wait till Saturday. What happens if they win Saturday? Then that thing starts to really take off a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. Mike Schaefer is up next. We'll talk about all this stuff with him here on 1620 The Zone. But first, try to get out of there early. Hey, the Kim Foundation, they've worked to increase awareness around mental health and suicide prevention in Nebraska, serving as a communication and connection link between individuals, organizations, and communities. The Kim Foundation's annual A Time for Hope and Healing event features well-known mental health advocates each year. This year, Jay Glazer, who's currently an NFL insider on Fox NFL Sunday. You've heard of him. He will be the speaker this time around. A Time for Hope and Healing. Wednesday, November 9th, 11:30 to 1 at the Embassy Suites in La Vista. And you can get tickets if you listen with the morning show. For you and your guests, you could sit at a reserved table with Gary for the event. You get some stories out of that one. Find more details on the KimFoundation.org.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Especially after 2019. That was the fork in the road. They started 4-2 and they finished on the year 5-7. Their offensive coordinator, I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but essentially fires Troy Walters. And what does he do?
Oh.
He brings in a guy that's working at a credit union. You know, like that's the moment to bring in a Mark Whipple. That's the moment to tinker. That's the moment to look under the hood. What are we doing and how do we get better?
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Much cooler Monday behind a cold front, cloudy and breezy in the morning. Northwest winds gusting around 20 miles per hour. There's a chance for spotty showers late morning through the afternoon. Any rain should be light in the metro. Afternoon highs around 57. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
There are actually 2 kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper?
And you can get it online. Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Your Omaha hockey team hits the road to take on the Long Island University Sharks this Friday and Saturday. Pregame is at 6:15 Friday. Puck drops at 6:45. It's UNO at Long Island on your new home for Maverick Hockey. News Talk 1290 Coil.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook Monday Night Football. Tonight it is Patriots, it is Bears. Can the Bailey Zappi era continue with another win for the Pats? Perhaps you disagree. You like Justin Fields on the over with the passing yards, maybe an anytime touchdown from him. Combine those together with more on the FanDuel Sportsbook using our promo code 1620. No better way to bet on the NFL than on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
And one of the things, Josh, you can do is also take a look at some alternate lines. If you really like the Patriots, take a look at that 10.5 number. That will pay you plus 120. Also, you get fast withdrawals on the FanDuel Sportsbook, and there's other odds boosts and specials each and every game. And right now, new customers get $150 in free bets, win or lose, by using promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I saw Mike Schaefer 2 out of the 3 days of the weekend this weekend. Yeah, huge. Missed out on yesterday, though. Schaefer, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm doing well. I also thought about you yesterday, but mostly in the context of various in-laws discussing how some of their family members were dancing with your wife on the dance floor and you were nowhere to be found. So,
whoa, that's just the way it goes. This is what happens at weddings.
Well, and then that led to the whole conversation about Jackie and Jack Mitchell dancing at my wedding. it just took off there. So it was a good time.
I enjoy, like I'm not actively not trying to be there, but sometimes I need a break. My wife doesn't need a break from it, and she's just going to keep going whenever possible.
Yeah, she. It was interesting because you sent me that video after we had left, and I thought she was pretty contained, and then apparently, like, she just, as the big ticking clock counting down to the end of the night, that's when I guess she ramped up.
So they had we were really excited because they had a band at this wedding that Schaefer and I were both at, and it was like a 10, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 pieces in this band. I was really infatuated with the guy on the keyboards. Me and the guy on the keyboard were vibing, like making eye contact all night. I really enjoyed the band setup there.
I like that. I like that you cultivated a special relationship with the guy playing the keyboard, and a wordless one at that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was wordless, that's for sure. All right, Schaefer. Let's get into. Well, we'll start with Malachi Coleman. I don't think it's a surprise that he ends up committing to Nebraska. That's for sure. But we were just talking about this, and I'm sure you've been asked, a few times already. I can't really recall anybody, especially a high-profile 4-star guy, commit to a interim coach. But this is a pretty unique situation. I guess I think it says more about Mickey Joseph, even though there's a lot to talk about with Malachi Coleman, the player.
Yeah, I mean, I think partly because this was sort of where it was always headed after his early June official visit, and his relationship with Mickey being so strong, Mickey being the interim coach, and seemingly having first right of refusal about whether he's going to be part of this staff next year in one capacity or another, I think gave Malachi Coleman a lot of confidence that, he was going to have an opportunity to be coached by somebody that he really wanted to be coached by. I think the other thing was, and I don't mean this that he didn't have opportunity elsewhere, it just was such an open secret that he was going to go play for Mickey Joseph that I don't know that there was a lot of teams that were like still in the mix, really. Yeah. I mean, he, if this could have went an entirely different way if Malachi wasn't so confident in Mickey Joseph. So I guess it just speaks to that confidence that he has that Mickey's going to be involved, because he never really waned off of the official visit high that he had at the beginning of June. I mean, he talked well about other teams, but it was always just a different conversation when Mickey and Nebraska came up. And so I think, that's obviously good for both parties, and he's going to have an opportunity pretty early in his career if he can show some quick development at wide receiver, because you look at what Nebraska's wide receiver room kind of looks like beyond Trey Palmer, there's a lot of head turning and a lot of squinting right now to kind of figure out where those next dynamic playmakers are going to come from. Like, it's actually amazing to me, for as much conversation as people like us, Happer, have had about Nebraska's wide receiver room.
Yep.
It's still very, very unsettled for a long-term future.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a talking point over the summer, and obviously before Mickey Joseph gets the interim tag and gets to sort of operate as the head coach. But we assume when this is all said and done, or maybe one of the more likely outcomes is that Nebraska brings in a head coach and Mickey Joseph goes back to being maybe an assistant head coach or an associate head coach, but also Nebraska's wide receiver coach. And over the summer, he had really, reshaped the room, brought in some new guys, some faces left. Like, that is still an ongoing process at the moment. And obviously he's going to have a lot of, if not all, the say on what that thing looks like over the summer and into next fall. Like, there's a lot of changeover there left to come. So getting your name in there and being a guy in the mix right now is only a positive if you want to get on the field next year.
Yeah. And part of why whoever ends up with this head coaching job, if it's not Mickey, why they have to sort of look at him and think, generally you keep a coach, you hold over at least one coach from the previous staff. It kind of helps in a lot of ways. His value, just simply because that room is going to be really unsettled after this season. Like, it could get really ugly. If you don't retain Mickey Joseph, chances are you're not getting O'Marion Miller. chances are, Barry Jackson could end up somewhere else. And those are incoming freshmen, so we'll see what that is. But there's not a lot in there. And so the other thing that whoever the wide receiver coach is, whether it's Mickey or someone else, they're going to have to go play in the portal more than likely, because it just feels like Trey Palmer likely won't be back next year, even if I think that he should, because I don't know that he's an NFL-ready wide receiver. And he's going to have 5 really difficult tests coming up to kind of prove one way or the other that he's ready for that next level. So that wide receiver room, very, very much a work in progress. And we're probably looking at another cycle and a half before you can really feel comfortable about it. I mean, if you were to rank position room on the team right now, you feel good about wide receiver because of what Trey Palmer is doing. The future outlook of it, though, I mean, it's probably only slightly better than, say, defensive line and maybe offensive line. So it's one of the biggest concerns, I think, for anyone inheriting this roster.
Yeah, it's almost it's interesting because there's obviously, for good reason, been a lot of time spent on the coaching search and who ends up there. But then you start to think about the job and what actually happens once that person is set into place. And the problem is you can't answer those questions until you identify the guy. But I mean, the roster is going to undergo a significant, change and turnover, and they're going to bring a lot of guys in prior to next year. And I sort of wonder, and like I said, it depends on who the guy is, but I wonder what that person will say. Oh, this is what we have to do first. And that's going to be with the help and assistance of Mickey Joseph and people who have been here before.
Absolutely. I mean, and one of the things that's interesting with this coaching search, like if it's an outside hire, what does the transfer portal situation look like for guys at Nebraska? Because if you're a guy that's already sort of into a starting job, are you leaving that because a new coach is coming in? And then, of course, we can't really answer some of these because so much is going to depend on what is the style of that coach. I mean, if Nebraska, if the hot new rumor of Jeff Monken is true, is Nebraska going to have 45 players in the transfer portal on December 1st?
Oof.
So, and I don't know if it's going to be Jeff Monken or not, but that's, the longer this thing goes, you get some new.
Oh yeah. Every day there's something that pops up.
So, and then Lane Kiffin lost, so I think he's out based on the Husker games context of lose and you're out. So, it's a lot of it's going to depend on the style and everything too, which might speak to how a guy like Mickey Joseph, if he's able to win another game or two, it's another feather in his cap. Because if you're Trev Alberts and you like sort of parts of the roster and you're worried that you could lose a bunch of people and then that sets you into a weird transition cycle, that might be a feather in Mickey Joseph's cap. But that shouldn't be one of the reasons why you make the decision.
What happens to the Mickey Joseph train if Nebraska wins on Saturday?
I mean, first win against a ranked opponent since 2016. Probably beating the team that most people around here regard as the best in the Big Ten West. And it sets off maybe the most exciting November around here since, I don't know, 2016, which wasn't that exciting after Nebraska lost 62-3. So, I mean, if Nebraska beats Illinois to get to 4-4, the excitement level for Mickey Joseph will be at a fever pitch, and it would be hard to deny it at that point too. I mean, because that would be an impressive win. I mean, short of beating Michigan at Michigan, it's probably the most impressive win left on Nebraska's schedule, right?
Yes. Unless, like you said, unless you go on the road to beat Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, so that would be, again, another thing to signify it. And I continue to go back to this. I think Illinois is the better team. They certainly have looked like the better team this year, but they lost to Indiana. They're not, they're not so good that they can't lose another game. And who knows? Maybe they haven't faced a bevy of great offenses. Now, some of that is how good their defense is. And I would really hesitate to call Nebraska a great offense. But if Trey Palmer gets loose once or twice, if Illinois isn't able to put up, 24 to 28 points, like Nebraska has a chance in this game. And so I wouldn't write them off at all.
Now, I think we've spent a lot of time talking about, how they're going to get something going consistently on offense and what can they sort of turn to. I think with our knowledge of Mark Whipple And like, I just don't know. They're going to keep feeding it to Trey Palmer as much as they possibly can, right? Like, I don't know if there's going to be any solutions in the run game for them to get anything going consistently. But I want to, the conversation this week, I think, should be more about the defensive side of the ball. How are they gonna hold up against Illinois, who runs the ball on anybody and everybody? And they're good up front, and they have one of the best running backs in the country right now. Like, that's where I have concerns about Nebraska scoring points too. But if they can find a way to piece it together defensively on Saturday, they're going to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing where, their best course of action would be to petition the Big Ten to see if they could get 2 extra defensive linemen on the field on Saturday. But since that's unlikely to be accepted, they're just going to have to figure out a run defense that they're comfortable playing. And if that means selling out 2/3 of the time, that leaves you really susceptible on the back end. And you got to hope that, Tommy DeVito can't just carve you up. So in a weird way, and they have different pieces, so they can't play the same way. But this feels similar to like when you played Michigan State last year. That Chase Brown / Kenneth Walker are the guys that are going to be the most important person to stop. How do you do that? Now, Nebraska had the best game against Kenneth Walker of anybody last season. And the key pieces for that, Damian Daniels, JoJo Doman, Luke Reimer. I mean, so 2 of those are definitely gone, and one of them we don't know the status of. In addition to Nick Henrich is out, so that's a tough task. I mean, your interior of your run defense hasn't been great this year. You're going against a pretty good offensive line. You're going against an offensive coordinator that's more than happy to run it down your throat. They're going to have to play sound fundamental football. They're going to have to tackle a lot better than they did against Devin Mockabee. And the hope is that, with Purdue, you were spread out and you were hitting space. Illinois, I think, is going to be more comfortable to just run those stretch plays and see what you can defend. You can just stay consistent and you have an opportunity there. And then the big thing is you get to 3rd down, you have to get off the field. Nebraska has to be better on 3rd down, especially if it's 3rd and over 5. You have to win almost every one of those, because every time you force Illinois off the field in the punt, it's a huge opportunity for you.
Does anything happen this week in coaching search territory?
Like happen as in publicly, or there's going to be a new name that we're all discussing next week?
We're still in the new, like, I don't think anything would actually, we're still a few weeks away from anything actually happening. We're talking about, a name floating out there.
Would it be, and I don't even know who their schedule is, would the next thing that happens be another school fires a coach that then makes you wonder what the pecking order becomes, or something of that nature? Because I don't look for anything to happen on Nebraska's end specifically, because again, these coaches are focused on their season that they have going on, and every indication I have is Nebraska is trying to hire a sitting Power 5 coach, if it's not Mickey Joseph and if it's not Bill O'Brien. So it's hard to see a lot of news coming out.
Well, how about coaches getting extensions or raises this week? I think we could be in that territory, because we haven't seen that as much as I anticipated yet.
Yeah, could be a good week for Lance Leipold to jump on an extension. could be a good opportunity there, because if Kansas isn't careful, they could end up with 5-7. And they've had a nice season, but I think they're getting the meat of their schedule right now, and they're a little banged up. And, they had a few bounces that went their way that kind of led to that 5-0 start. So maybe a guy like that ends up off the list. Dave Doran, but it's just none of these coaches that I feel like Nebraska's sort of linked with are having seasons of such, maybe Lane Kiffin, like an extension there, but how realistic is Lane Kiffin as Nebraska's next coach? We don't really know.
How does an Astros-Phillies World Series hit you?
It's okay. Going to be a lot of brotherly love for Ted Cruz if he shows up at that game, based on what we saw with the photos coming out of New York last night. So, from the Phillies fans will do anything perspective, that's kind of fascinating. These are both pretty interesting teams. I mean, the Phillies, despite being the 6th seed in the NL, have a roster that anybody would be envious of. And that Bryce Harper home run was just phenomenal to see on Sunday. Like that's your best player. That's your superstar. That's the guy that has to come through in that moment. And he just bombs a home run. And then, of course, the internet immediately has that thing set to like the Moneyball theme, and
It's still good. I'll watch it every time. It's still good.
No, it's really good. So I'm excited for it. I think the Phillies have a real chance. I would imagine the Astros are going to be a fairly sizable favorite, though, because they haven't lost. I mean, they're 7-0.
Well, this is what it's really about. We need the Phillies to win Game 1 so the Astros don't tie the Royals record with 8 straight postseason wins to start the postseason.
Yes. It's good to know that there's a Royals tie that we should be looking for.
That's what this is really about. Other than that, I don't really care who wins. Just Phillies need Game 1.
All right. Well, I mean, look, we'll have an opportunity to throw probably Nola or Wheeler in Game 1, and
Game 1's not till Friday. Like we got some time here.
The baseball TV schedule, it's always a little annoying when the series don't go as long as what they hope.
Yep. Happens pretty we're going to have a week to talk about baseball, which is not really a sport that that is worth talking about the entire week. Yep. It's more of a we got to have a game. All right, Schaefer, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Connor, have a good one.
Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Baseball, not a talking sport. More of a sporting sport.
Yeah, there's not like a hype train.
Yeah.
In front of a large baseball game, usually.
Football, you get a week in between, and the week is perfect because we have all these, there's like a couple days in the back end to talk about what just happened. And then, okay, we're going to start to turn forward now. We're looking ahead. Boom, Thursday night comes up on you pretty quick. We'll have a Thursday night game. And then, all of a sudden you're in weekend mode again. It's really a good ecosystem, a good calendar. Baseball, not made to have a week off.
Also, if baseball was going to have their series end like early Sunday, probably the worst day.
Not the day,
because there's a lot of recapping the NFL going on ESPN today.
The Bryce Harper thing got buried. It's a great baseball moment for one of the game's biggest stars, like it or not. It's a great baseball moment for one of the game's biggest stars, and it just got buried. Like nobody actually, nobody saw it.
Yeah,
tough day. Yeah, don't go. There's a lesson there. Don't go up against the NFL. Should have learned that one a long time ago.
Here in that Big Ten.
Coming next is the odd news on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
With some big-time events coming up, including the Luke Combs concert at the CHI Health Center right here in Omaha, October 28th and 29th. Be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. It's not all about sports. It's about shows, and it's also about finding the best tickets at ticketsforless.com. So whether you want to see the pageantry at Memorial Stadium on a Saturday, catch a game at Arrowhead Stadium, Tickets for Less is your source for the best tickets. Also, without those crazy per-ticket fees you'll pay on other sites, trust me, you'll keep going back to ticketsforless.com. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
I choose to invade the state of Minnesota and steal PJ Fleck. He's rowing the boat into Lincoln.
They hired PJ Fleck for this job. I will quit. September 13, 2022, I will state my resignation at 1620 The Zone if they hire PJ Fleck.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8 Monday through Friday or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Iowa Western Community College and Multicare Medical on 1620 The Zone.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
We were just talking about this during the break. I feel like we're in a good we have enough of a sample size in the NFL where we are in this window, potentially small, but in a window where it seems like you can confidently bet on the NFL.
I kind of know a few things now. There's some trends that have developed.
There are definitely like at least a handful of teams who you'll say, let's just not. If they come up in a bet you like, or you want to include them in a teaser or a parlay, just skip them. Make that 4-teamer a 3-teamer.
Basically, the entire AFC North.
Right.
I have no idea what you're going to do on a given week.
But we're starting to figure some things out here. And a couple of the things that we figured out is that the football is good in New York or in Jersey, I guess.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, Giants and Jets. We all said on Friday, Giants +3. Thank you.
Yep. Would have had it even if the Jags would have scored there at the end.
Yeah.
The Giants and the Jets are a combined 11-3. And all the Jets had to do was sacrifice Breece Hall's ACL.
And they did it happily.
No, it's not happy.
Not happily. I mean,
but
that quarterback's not good enough on his own.
Nope. Not really. We'll talk to Sautter about that and, of course, some high school football here in just a little bit. But Josh has the odd news.
I do have the odd news. Thank you, Connor. We begin with, and forgive my ignorance on this. I'm probably going to get laughed at and like, oh, you work at a sports station and you don't know how to say that. Is it Weber State or Weber State? Weber.
I think it's Weber.
Okay.
But you asking that question really threw my brain for a loop.
You were ready for a lot, but not that.
It's Weber.
Okay.
It's Weber.
I know their basketball team makes the tournament with relative
they're in there.
frequents. They were undefeated. Dave says it's so we're correct. I trust
Weber.
Dave. Weber State. They lost their undefeated record after allowing an FCS record 4 safeties in a 43-38 loss.
Oh, hello. Sicko time.
Do the math on that. 43-38 the final score, 4 safeties. Snapping the ball a few yards may look easy, but it's actually a skill that requires a fair amount of practice. There are entire football camps dedicated to learning the craft because when long snapping goes wrong, it goes very wrong.
It really is a special skill, though,
Yeah.
if you've ever seen those guys really work at it.
Weber State entered this week's game with an undefeated 6-0 record and the number 5 ranking in the FCS. It would exit the game with a new appreciation for long snapping after a 43-38 loss to number 3 Montana State. and saw the Wildcats commit 4 safeties due to errant long snaps. This is a new FCS record for most safeties in a single game, and you cannot see them all below because this is a news article.
I just watched one of them.
Yeah.
That was not only high, but also outside.
Yes, he did that 4 times. None of them were close.
Whoa!
The third of the 4, the punter just goes, you know what? I've seen this before, and kicks it like a soccer ball right out of the end zone.
So I'm looking at the one now to make it 24-11, and I don't think so. The ball is snapped on about the 27 yard line. And I don't think that it bounced for the first time until the goal line. That is
they sailed.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a ways back there. I think you missed your target a little bit. I'm going to watch the third one. Okay, ball being snapped in the 30. Oh, that one was actually tipped. That might have been the best one.
Okay.
Now let's watch number 4. Yep, that's a goner. I mean, yeah, that was the one he kicked it. He just kicked it out of the back. He's like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore.
that one's my favorite, where you can just tell the punter's just like, no, we're not doing this again.
So, I mean, as a long snapper, kicker, specialist, you do something one time, it's got to get in your head. And so then you're thinking about, okay, I'm not going to snap this thing over the guy's head again, am I? And then you do.
And then you do.
And then you do it again. And then you do it again. That's a tough spot to be in. It's called the yips.
Yeah, he definitely had the yips. Textbook case of said yips.
Oof.
And the Weber State defense didn't help him out much. They yielded 487 total yards on Saturday. So that's.
But they had a lead. I mean, they were up 24-9.
I mean, that's your Weber State update.
Thank you
for the weekend.
Also, I appreciate a little Montana State football. I got they were in the playoff last year. You ever been up to Bozeman?
I have not.
I haven't either. Never been to Montana, but it seems cool.
Gary went there last fall.
That's right
for basketball.
Now, did they play the Grizz or the Bobcats?
I believe they played the Grizz.
Okay, so that's Montana U.
Yeah. I believe there's a return date for them this year.
Like Montana's coming here?
I thought so. I could have been wrong though. Yeah, it looks like I was wrong.
I don't know the ins and outs of Omaha's basketball scheme.
I got that one Michigan game right, and I've been wrong about everything I've said on the radio ever since today. One thing I know I am right about: Subway. Oh yeah, shoot or shoot, Connor. They are telling media members that they did not pull the Russell Wilson signature sub from their restaurants because of the quarterback's poor performance.
The Danger Witch?
The Danger Witch.
It's gone?
It is
It's in the vault.
It's not.
It's in the vault. You can't get it. It's in the vault.
These are real words. Subway says that they did not pull Russell Wilson's signature sub from its menu over hate from online trolls.
Hey Josh, one time no, never mind. Too spicy.
Oh? You got a spicy sandwich story?
No, that's from the Russ commercial.
I don't watch Russell Wilson commercials.
You haven't seen where he did the Danger Witch thing?
It
was so embarrassing.
It was in the article, and I'm just like, no, I'm not watching a Russell Wilson commercial.
You gotta watch it. Honestly, you could just play it because it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Now, are we talking about the one where he's wearing sunglasses or the original Danger Witch commercial?
I believe there were sunglasses in the article. I pulled this story from.
That one was bad, but the initial one where he's talking about the Danger Witch and just like it's like ASMR, like he's taking a bite of it and you could hear the crunch of the paper the entire time. I mean, it is everything that guy does is cringe, but bad deal.
Wow,
it's a bad deal.
Really deep within the depths of TMZ Sports here. I thought it was at the top. They must update their stories at 10 a.m.
You can watch it on your own time and cringe there, as you will.
There didn't appear to be any problems with the sandwich, which featured pepperoni, salami, ham, cheese, bacon, and veggies. But when the organization began releasing some ads with the quarterback in them, that's when the backlash began. Russ looked super cringeworthy in the spots, including one where he, decked out in sunglasses and a leather jacket, suggested a way to eat the meal with a fork and a knife. They quickly became a meme on social media after his awful performance. Yeah. The hate grew exponentially. This week, fans began to notice the sandwich had been removed from the menu, and many believed it was due to the trolling. But a spokesperson for Subway told TMZ on Friday this was not the case and that the sandwich had been pulled in August before the season even began.
Oh, so you can't even get the Danger Witch. You couldn't even get the Danger Witch a couple weeks ago.
Well, you could walk in there and, build your own sandwich.
Why don't you create your own Danger Witch?
Yeah. Russell Wilson did not play yesterday in a loss to Breece Hall and the Jets.
No, but I think he's back on in the Germany game or the London game. Is it London or Germany?
London.
London on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Get up early, drink a coffee, watch the Denver Broncos.
Little sicko action before the real stuff starts.
Oh, not just a little sicko action. They're playing the Jags, right?
Yeah, that is true.
That's big sicko action.
Ooh.
Big sicko energy.
Wow. What a game to advertise your product. We go to Russia for this final story. We were talking about this last week. I don't know if it was on air or if it was before the crossover. It might have been before. A Russian startup company is offering its clients the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to arrange their own fake funeral and go through the experience of being buried alive for 3.5 million rubles. That's 57,000 American dollars.
Wow, I don't think I talked about this.
We talked about, would you want to attend your own funeral?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. There is a possibility that after this procedure, the client will discover new talents, psychic abilities, or see success in business. The startup's founder told a Russian radio station. A self-proclaimed business coach with more than 130,000 Instagram followers announced the new venture on Thursday, describing fake funerals as, quote, a true symbol of fighting for yourself and your own happy future. According to information obtained by Russia's Moskvik magazine, apparently that's big over there, the offer comes in 2 packages. 1, the online funeral, and 2, the full immersion funeral. The first package, which costs $15,000, is advised as stress therapy for fears and anxieties and promises to allow the client to close chapters in their lives and undergo divine healing and rising from the ashes. Those who opt for the full immersion package will be able to go through a full funeral carried out according to their religious preferences. The client will be placed in a coffin and buried for 60 minutes, followed by a mandatory revival with an all-around revived awareness of their mission. Clients are expected to emerge from the coffin with a renewed desire to live and will also be able to keep their coffin as a souvenir. The procedure will allow you to evaluate your life and love it, understand your mission, and unlock your potential, the founder told the Russian radio station. Connor?
No. Nope.
No? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think they're probably overselling the effects a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna go through that and go, oh, I do have goals that I still need to accomplish. Yes, let me go get those.
I can have those realizations without being buried alive.
Yeah,
I could have the realization right now. You know what? Let me tell you. Let's get real for a second. I had a realization on Friday.
Oh,
I think it's Friday. I was playing a video game that I hate, Madden. I was playing against my friend.
Okay, I'm gonna circle back to that if there's time.
I have a bad. I've not done well traditionally in this setting.
Okay.
And I didn't expect to do well, but the game brought me to the point where I really had to self-evaluate. I didn't throw anything, but I was slamming stuff around and I was yelling and I was complaining. And if I could have seen myself in that moment, I would have said, dude, this is a video game. You need to calm down. So I shut the thing off. And I actually briefly considered selling my Xbox. I was like, I'm done with this.
Wow.
This is affecting my health.
Mm-hmm.
This cannot happen to me anymore.
That's good by you, though.
But guess what? I had that realization. And I didn't have to, you could just go through that. It doesn't have to be a terribly traumatic experience to have these come to moments, these come to Jesus moments. Now I will take this, I will take this and I will think, man, I don't want to be that way again. Maybe I'll play less video games. Maybe I'll play less then
That's probably good by
in
you,
that
though.
moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, can I do the full immersion, but like hang out in the back of the room?
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to go in the coffin and be in there for an hour. Too many variables there that result in me not getting out of the coffin.
True.
So I would like to hang out in the back of the room. I understand. I'm paying for the coffin and all that. Like, I will still pay that. That's fine. I'm not going to haggle you on a fake funeral, but I will step out. I would just like to hang out in the back of the room.
I think you could probably cut a deal with him.
Okay. I just want to know who feels what at my fake funeral.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We'll be back with more of the noon hour. Mike Sautter coming up shortly here on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your number one investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Bill Jones.
And Olivia.
Here again for Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Jones Bros is famous here at Omaha for catering delicious breakfasts and lunches for business meetings.
If I owned a business, I'd cater Jones Bros every day.
Sounds good to me, Olivia.
For breakfast, I cater French toast with warm syrup and croissant donuts. That'd be a good day at work.
Go with it, Olivia. Check out our website at jonesbroscupcakes.com for catering.
Jones Bros Cupcakes in Exarban Village.
Sunday morning is all about church, eggs, and the Sunday paper. But right next to church, it's made for hot takes and reactions. Severe Reactions. Michael Severe is back on 1620 The Zone with Severe Reaction. Sundays 8 to 10 and doesn't hold back on what went right and what went wrong on Saturday. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
They say everyone has a story to tell. Well, no one tells stories better than Audible. It's the home of living your best life. Intriguing true crimes and celebrities you love like John Hamm, Kerry Washington, and Kevin Hart. It's the home of new worlds, old worlds, and ways to make a better world. Audible, the home of storytelling. Audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Start a free trial at audible.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Imagine it's a scorcher and your home's AC just quit. Sometimes it's beyond repair and needs to be replaced. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. Modern AC systems are more energy efficient, which is good news for your energy bill. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time. Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
The big box stores have a secret. When you walk out the door with a new purchase, that's where the service ends. At Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, you get great deals on brands like Hustler, Toro, Honda, and Steel. Plus, you get a dedicated, experienced service center. With annual maintenance and repairs, your equipment will last longer and perform when you need it most. See us in Lincoln, Omaha, or Gretna and get 10% off your residential service. Visit TysOutdoorPower.com, promo code radio, or mention radio to redeem.
There's some pretty great research being done all across our great sport of college football with many great people who cover the sport. We are anticipating the release of the scenario that would allow a 7-way tie for the Big Ten West at the end of the season. We await that.
This is still mathematically possible.
Yes, and I believe in said 7-way tie for the Big Ten West, Northwestern would actually be the team that would represent the West in the title game.
Let's go.
Because basically it involves all the teams that are currently at the top losing and the teams like Northwestern and Nebraska winning, even though Nebraska is only 2-2 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and we eagerly await that scenario, and we'll pass it along to you whenever we officially find it. It's going to be brought to you by our friends at the Sickos Committee. But we also have this from Matt Brown. Did you happen to see this? This is this has Josh written all over it.
Ooh, Titans Super Bowl win?
No, it's not about the NFL. It's about college football.
College football, okay.
Matt Brown, Extra Points. Extra Points investigates. What is every FBS team's record immediately following a Taylor Swift album release?
Oh, we had the stat that Texas is pretty good. I saw a sign at College Game Day. Oregon is 8-1 now, 9-1 after Taylor Swift releases an album. What do you have?
Well, Matt Brown has done the research. Now,
this is good stuff. This is key right here.
So he collected the data for FBS games played immediately after 8 of the 10 albums. He did not include Swift's other 2 albums, which were released in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Or in the summer or after the season. So Folklore was released on July 24th, 2020. And Evermore was released on December 11th, 2020, which is during COVID and a bunch of teams had stopped playing, and it's weird time. So 8 hard and fast dates here. Those are October 24th, 2006, November 11th, 2008, October 25th, 2010, October 22nd, 2012, October 27th, 2014, November 10th, 2017, August 23rd, 2019, and this past weekend, October 21st, 2022. There are some key things to take out of it before we get to Nebraska's record, as I'm sure you're curious. Purdue, winless.
Oh, wow.
Purdue is 0-8 in Taylor Swift album games. And
that was a pretty sizable upset for me personally on Saturday. I didn't see that coming.
Now, Wisconsin, they kind of have their number, but they also have the Taylor Swift thing going against them in that scenario. 5 schools are winless. There are also 1, 2, 3, 4 to go undefeated during Swift albums. Alabama.
Okay.
They are Swift proof. Ohio State, also Swift proof.
Okay. Makes sense.
A couple may surprise you. Appalachian State and Boise State, undefeated the weekend after Taylor Swift albums.
That was a big win for App State. They needed it.
Are released. So the other schools that are winless during this time: Akron, 0-6. Coastal Carolina is 0-2. And then we mentioned Purdue is is 0-8 during this time, which is really, really funny. South Florida is 0-3. And I think that's it for the winless teams.
Well, going back to App State, they played on Wednesday. So they have not played since the release.
Oh, so maybe they were
Taylor
counted
Swift's
this week.
Midnights. They play 0-7 Robert Morris on Saturday.
Now Nebraska had a bye this week, notably. I don't know if you guys noticed. Bringing Nebraska's totals, that is the first time they've had a bye on a Taylor Swift weekend. 5-2, respectable.
Hey,
now we can go back and go to the individual games, but 5-2, not bad for Taylor Swift album release weekends for Nebraska. So their first game immediately following will be against Illinois, but I don't think it'll count because they were just on a bye. Now the question is, if you are Purdue or a team that has historically not had success, do you work with Taylor and attempt to find out when she's going to have her next heartbreak or realization or, just have enough extra songs to throw into an album and say, okay, this is what I'm targeting. And then maybe you could attempt to not play that weekend. It's a collaborative effort between the school, Taylor Swift, and the Big Ten.
Maybe college football, maybe the NCAA writes her and says, hey, could you put out a summer album? What did I miss Illinois' record after a Taylor Swift album? I guess they played over the weekend.
I can get you. Illinois didn't play this weekend.
Oh, okay. So they were on a bye too.
They were double bye. Illinois, who will be playing their first game post Taylor Swift album this weekend against Nebraska, historically 2-6. Let's go!
Skurs by 100.
A lot of things going Nebraska's way. You never know. Got a home game. ABC. Nebraska's what, in the neighborhood of a 5-point underdog for this? Like a home dog? Like that number, too?
I think I saw 6.5 this morning.
Let's see. Let me check out the old FanDuel Sportsbook for this week. 7.5 at the moment.
Oh, my goodness.
On the old FanDuel Sportsbook. I thought I saw it open at 5.5. Nebraska plus 250 on the money line. I don't know. Could happen.
4-quarter pick 'em. Anyone going to do
it? Somebody should. We have plenty of time to talk about that throughout the week. But there's some stats to get you going. Taylor Swift album releases. And if you are Swift proof or if you fall to the hands of the Swift each time she releases an album, and we wonder when her next album will come out.
She'll get you. Connor and I released a Taylor Swift album over the weekend.
Those were good. Those were good, Josh.
Yeah.
That didn't get enough credit, I don't think, on the internet. Thank you for doing those.
I'm gonna resend them out on our Twitter page at Happer Show. A lot of time and effort.
It's the track titles.
It is, and I'm glad everyone took the time to realize that and notice it.
It's a couple things. It's the track titles, but it's also the pictures. The picture of you sitting at the College World Series looking not happy to be at the College World Series is really, really great.
It's my tough face.
Yeah. I don't know. You just didn't really look like you were particularly excited to be there. And then the album or the track titles are really, really good. So everybody give Josh a pat on the back for that. They're on Twitter. They've been retweeted right now at Happer Show. All right, we'll come back with Mike Sautter, talk some high school and the 5-2 Jets. Next here on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So she just dips Achilles, but why not just... You know how, like, when you're frying things, you have one of those.
You're gonna fry a baby?
No, you put the baby in one of those and you
in a fryer
in a colander. Yeah, colander. Put the baby in the colander.
The Greeks didn't have colanders.
Why not
Josh?
dip and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna hold your other leg. Also, if you know that's his weakness, cover it up.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Much cooler Monday behind a cold front, cloudy and breezy in the morning. Northwest winds gusting around 20 miles per hour. There's a chance for spotty showers late morning through the afternoon. Any rain should be light in the metro. Afternoon highs around 57. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Dingman's Mechanical Repair. Service is at the heart of our business. Visit us at dingmansmechanical.com.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Creighton Sports Update. Only 2 weeks until Blue Jays basketball is back. Single game tickets for all men's and women's basketball home games are on sale now. Get your tickets online at gocreighton.com/tickets or at the Creighton ticket office. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
$16.20 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. You know why it's the perfect time? Because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Yeah, you heard me correctly. $1,000. That's free bets if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do, sign up with promo code ZONE. That's easy. Promo code ZONE. One thing about FanDuel, it has all your favorite bets from money line to point spreads to player props, and it's easy to find. You get your winnings paid fast, and live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Plus, it's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So all you have to do, sign up today with promo code ZONE for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code ZONE. You can make every moment more this season with FanDuel. It is the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 over, present Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund is issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is $50 worth of vouchers to Le Voltaire French Restaurant for only $25. Le Voltaire Pepperwood Village is a locally owned, unpretentious French restaurant serving down-home cooking with an extensive wine list and great handcrafted cocktails for decades. Whether dining with friends, clients, or that special someone, Le Voltaire will make you feel right at home.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Let's face it. Credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout? Here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Connor Happer, Josh Hodson back with you on a Monday edition of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. We welcome in Mike Sautter, BennyBPreps.com, who has all of his brackets filled out, I'm sure, for the high school football playoffs, which began last week, but really begin this week. But yes, we will give you a moment. The Jets are 5-2, but it cost you Breece Hall's ACL. How do you feel?
Not good. Come on, man. Come on. Like, we can't have nice things. This is just a Jet thing. This is it. This is what it is. Like, there's this curse of the New York Jets. I mean, it's real. I believe it's real. But hey, there's no good running backs available. Obviously, look at what Denver's signed Tavius Murray, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Marlon Mack. They overnighted Marlon Mack somewhere yesterday, and yeah, there's not a lot out there.
So here's my proposal. One, okay, Michael Carter's good, pretty fine. He's fine, but you probably need another back. Now I know they like this rookie that's been on the practice squad and stuff. We'll see. But what about giving up a 5th rounder for Kareem Hunt, who's on the last year of his deal? I'd be cool with that. I'd be way cool with that.
Yeah, the Browns don't need him.
Yeah, they really don't. So they don't. They kind of don't.
They're bad. They're really bad.
I mean, you have Nick Chubb, and you're not going to re-sign Kareem Hunt. So, come on down. I'd be fine with that.
I like that
1 year rental thing.
I like that idea. Are you still okay? So, are you holding out hope for the playoffs, or where are you at on this thing?
Yeah, 5-2. Hello.
Okay, I don't know. You see, you're kind of all over the place. It's I'm happy, but I'm actually not that happy.
But listen, two things can be true at the same time. The Packers are not very good. That can be true. But the Jets can go to Green Bay and win and give the Packers their first home loss in 15 games. That can be true.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets can go to Denver after they just won in Lambeau and win. Yes, Brett Rippon was playing quarterback.
Wouldn't have mattered.
The Jets can actually the Jets can actually be good, and those two teams not be very good. It can be a thing.
Okay.
It can definitely be a thing. As of today, I believe there's a 60% chance the Jets make the playoffs.
Oh, that's good. That's a scary number for your emotions because it could go either way.
It could definitely go either way, and good thing New England plays tonight. Because the Jets play New England in New York next week, and then they play the Dolphins, and then they play in New England, which is that's an L. Right?
No, it goes New England, Bills, New England.
Oh, yeah. I mean, very real possibility it could be 5-5 after the next 3 weeks. So I'm a very realistic Jets fan. Now, when they win, you're probably going to hear about it, or when they're actually decent, you're probably going to hear about it from me. So.
All right, Sautter, you got your brackets. One of the things that we've talked about, I think, at various points during the season is just sort of the depth at the top. And we're talking about Class A, but I think it works this way for a couple of the classes. Although B, it feels like there's two, and then there's, sort of a step. And maybe it's that way for Class A too, but you're going to get some pretty good first round matchups. And actually, there's a couple cases that it looks like to me on the bracket where, double digit seeds are going to be favored to go on the road and win those games. Favored, quote unquote. Not that there's betting lines or anything, but they would be the better team, but they ended up with the worst seed. I love the way it's matched up, and I think it's been like this over the last couple of years. And you're really going to get some good ones, starting in the quarterfinals, if not here in this first round.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful, I guess, of teams that you very much so you're like, yeah, they could win that one. Yep, they could win that one. You start with Millard South as the 12th seed.
Yep.
I think we maybe talked about it last week. Millard South is 5-1 with Cam Kozol playing quarterback. And their record is 5-4.
Yep.
So the 3 games that he missed, that matters. And that's basically the only reason why they're at 12. You gotta like that. They go to Kearney. Kearney's tough. They're super well coached. Coach Cool is one of the best coaches in the state. But that's the one. If you're looking for an upset, that's the one. Omaha North, can they bounce back after losing 2 games? One was to Grand Island. They go to Grand Island. North does. I mean, how many of the kids that play at Omaha North have even left Omaha in their life? So like that is maybe part of the thing.
Oh yeah.
But also Omaha North lost to Grand Island by 10 2 weeks ago, and Omaha North had 6 turnovers in that game, and it was only a 10-point game. So if you don't have 6, maybe you have 2, and you don't give up a punt return for a touchdown and all this other stuff, then maybe, that one's a little more 50-50 to me. And then Prep going to North Platte. Game will be played in a phone booth. If you like teams that run the ball and over under total pass attempts, maybe 9.5.
I was gonna say, how about that game starting at 7:00, or I guess are they in Mountain Time out there?
No, they're Central.
Okay, so that game's starting at 7:00. And
Prep will be on the bus by 9:30.
Yeah, I was thinking about 9:15. Yeah. They'll be in and out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, that game won't last very long unless it goes to overtime or something. But it's the health of Marty Brown. He tried to kind of come back and play this week, wasn't able to. Now, good thing about Prep is they have some depth at running back. Ken Russell is kind of filled in nicely. If they need to, then go to John Pargo. Their offensive line, Rocco Marcelino, is out for the year, hurt his knee a couple weeks ago, so he's been gone. But they get everybody kind of back after a couple of games of not having their full offensive line, sans Marcelino. That one is going to be tough. I mean, Colton Tilford's a really good football player for North Platte. He's a two-way guy, running back, played really, really well. Again, it's going to be it'll probably be a very close game. Prep's going to have to match the physicality and effort and toughness thing from North Platte.
That's a challenge to do going out there too.
Yes. But we'll see. I mean, it's that one I think a little even more of a toss up probably than Grand Island North. I kind of give a slight edge to Grand Island in that North game, by the way. Just very small.
But back to the point, that's 3 games where you're like, it could go either way, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, double-digit seeds could win.
Yeah,
right.
No doubt.
You definitely look at that, and then I mean, on the bottom half of the Class A bracket is much harder than top. I really believe that.
Look at this. I mean, you're going to have, in all likelihood, a Gretna Bellevue West quarterfinal, which was already, it's the game of the year. It was played just a couple weeks ago, and that could happen in the quarterfinal. Elkhorn South has been, I mean, we've talked about this a lot, Sautter, and we saw them on Friday. That's been the best team in the state for about the last 3 weeks now. So they're in that half. Like, it's going to get really interesting starting next Friday, if it won't be already.
Yeah, I mean, Bellevue West Gretna, if that's the quarterfinal matchup, which Bellevue West just beat Papio South on Friday, it was like 46-20. So you kind of right, and then Gretna, you just that would be a pretty massive upset if Southeast could beat them, which I don't think that's going to happen. Then you go back to like the West Gretna is like, hey, like we were winning 37-17, 7 minutes and 9 seconds. So
no, both teams got to be thinking if that matchup comes up, and we'll talk about it more next week. But like both teams got to be thinking, oh yeah, we can win this game.
Yeah. I would say this. I know I'll be in Gretna on Friday, November 4th.
Yep.
That night if that game happens again. So me and probably a lot of other people. So I just you look at it and like you said, Elkhorn South, hey, their schedule is what it is. 2 toughest games they had were Millard South and on paper Omaha North, and they running clocked Omaha North. Elkhorn South is the most complete team in the state. When I say complete, I mean there isn't as many holes as some of the other teams. They're able to run the ball.
They're good everywhere.
Yeah, they can throw it. Their defensive back, like corners, is maybe the one question. We got time, obviously, if they make it this far to break it down and talk about it. But if if it is a Bellevue West or a Gretna that they play, if Elkhorn South can win, which I think everyone thinks they can, that semifinal would be pretty big. Like it'd be that would be the matchup. Like how do their corners hold up? A lot of points though if that happens. So for me, looking at it, I think you clearly you look at West Side and you kind of are like, yeah, that's probably a thing. But if it does end up being Millard South and West Side, let's say in the semis, like, hey, that game was just an overtime.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Like, so
I mean, that would be if it's okay. So if you play it out, if it's Millard South and West Side in the one semifinal, and then Elkhorn South and basically whoever it is between the winner of Gretna and Bellevue West, I mean, that's exactly what we came here for. This is what we tried to get to.
Can you play that game? Can it be like 4:00 and 7:00 at
right? That would be great. Yes.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? I just don't know if that's gonna happen. But
no, you're not gonna.
That would be great. Maybe they could use Buell because I don't know. I tweeted out this morning and I did some research and looked at a bunch of stuff, but I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that Buell Stadium, which is at Millard South, the Millard field, that this is the first time that they have not hosted a home first round. That none of the three teams have had a home playoff game for the first round since Millard West was built in 1995.
Yep, that's crazy to think about.
That's a crazy stat.
Meanwhile, you'll have two games out at Elkhorn on Friday.
Right. You have, I think Elkhorn High will be at 4. It looks like, and then Elkhorn South will be at 8.
Yep.
4:00, 8:00. So I'll probably be at Elkhorn and Northwest at 4. Yes, 4:00 is official. It wasn't this morning earlier, but so Northwest is scary there in that 13 and B. So kind of.
Well, let's talk about B for a second because I think there's a lot of stuff that could happen in the middle. But then you look directly at Bennington and Gross and those two teams and their sort of body of work this year has been really, really good. But in the middle there, I mean, there's a lot of different results I think that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Plattsmouth and Scotts Bluff could be a thing, right? Like, I think Plattsmouth plays really hard. They're tough, physical, all that. Scotts Bluff wants to just run the ball, which normally means they're playing some close games against decent teams. So, anything can happen in that situation. Waverly and Norris is the 5-12. I just look at Norris. I don't know if Norris can get that one done because Waverly they already played and it kind of was something. Elkhorn North and Pius is very interesting. Very interesting. If Elkhorn North can win, and if Bennington's going to beat Beatrice, right? Like I think everyone feels pretty good about that. I mean, again, Elkhorn North. I looked up this stat because I was just very curious. Elkhorn North lost to Bennington 2 weeks ago, 21-7. It is the first time that Bennington has scored 21 or less since September 11th of 2020. I went back and looked at all their games.
Yeah, that's what you call a wagon.
Yeah, very much so. So you have that, and then I mean Blair Scut is very interesting. I think that might be where I'll be on Friday night, and it's at 7:00. I think I'm very much so leaning that direction. Blair has a stuck-up kid who's a really good athlete playing quarterback. I also think Blair's pretty decent. So Blair lost to Elkhorn North 27-26 on Friday. Elkhorn North had to come back a lot to do it. If you actually look at Blair, I think Elkhorn North, something about Scud and let me look real quick. I'm looking it up. But I mean, something about Scott. maybe not lost to Blair. They didn't play. Never mind. So there's something there about, maybe Elkhorn North can probably beat them or something like that. So there's some connection of if you do the whole transitive property thing of Elkhorn North playing Scud and this team beat that team and blah, blah, blah. So I hate doing that, but that's a little bit maybe. So, yeah.
3 undefeateds in C1, but is there, I feel like it's a similar sort of setup as B where you really like Aurora and Pierce and, as the top 2 seeds there. And then sort of it's a free for all a little bit in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like Aurora quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know it reminds you a lot of different ways of doing it, but this Aurora team dropping down to C1, which by the way, coach didn't want to play C1, they wanted to opt up and play B. So just for everybody.
Yeah, you got to credit them for that. Yeah.
Same thing with Gross. They're C1 as far as school population goes, but they opted up to play B this year. So Aurora is the favorite. It's not really close. It kind of reminds you of when Baylor Sharman was quarterback and they ended up playing Ord, I think, in the championship game and won like running clock in the state final.
Mm-hmm.
Something crazy. So Pierce Central City will be a lot of points though, because Central City throws around and the weather's going to be real nice. So that's something. McCook's the interesting one at a 3. They've handled their business. They went on the road and beat Adams Central. That's kind of their probably toughest test all year. Boone Central at a 5 is very interesting. Ashland Greenwood and Boone Central, if that's the 4-5 in a quarterfinal in C1, extremely interesting. Ashland Greenwood's defense the last couple of weeks has been just phenomenal. So, and I don't know, like Roncalli, if they play Aurora, if Roncalli can get by Lincoln Christian in a quarterfinal, Roncalli has Brady McGill quarterback. They have capability of putting a lot of points up. It's just a matter of defensive way. How do you slow down Aurora? So, yeah, it feels like it has all year that Aurora and Pierce is like on a collision course for to play against each other, and I think it would take a lot for that not to happen.
All right, Sautter. Well, we look forward to it officially firing up this Friday, and like I said, it gets really interesting really quickly. With we're down to when you get down to 8 teams, and then you get down to 4, and you could really pare it down to that amount in seemingly every class, but especially A this year, where if it all sets up, and I think we might have talked about the same thing last year, but like. We really liked the 4, and then it ended up not being the 4 that we thought because it all got screwed up with the 16-1. So we'll see what happens this year. Anything could happen, but man, I don't know how it's going to play out with the last couple of weeks of the season here. Well, we're looking forward to it.
This week there's, I think you just peg a couple potential upset things happening. A is going to just be a mess, I think. Again, I guess I'm going to call my shot because they have all year. I just think Millard South is a team that can definitely make it to the semi.
Yeah. I don't think it would be surprised. Anybody would be surprised if they showed up and played Westside in the semifinal. But all right, Sautter, appreciate it as always. Good coverage. Hope you enjoy your popcorn wherever you're at this Friday too.
Yeah, maybe this time someone won't just grab a cheeseburger out of my hand and rip it apart.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
See ya.
All right, bye.
Mike Sautter, ndbpreps.com.
2 very different stories being told there.
Well, there was popcorn and then there was a cheeseburger. The video's online.
You didn't say how you obtained said cheeseburger.
The video is on the internet. You guys, the evidence is there. You guys can watch it. It's on Sauter's Twitter, and you can be the judge yourself. I won't add anything.
Okay.
I don't feel like I need to give my side of the case. We'll come back with Josh's top 5. We still have to spin the wheel in the 1 o'clock hour as well, but we'll be back with more next here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But join Gary at Jones Bros and Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban from 6 to 10 this Friday and each Husker home game Friday. First 20 listeners show up and get free breakfast from Gary himself. And after the first 20 listeners, you get your Jones Bros breakfast for just $6. I went a couple the last time we were out there, and it's a good deal. It's delicious food. We're giving away prizes, t-shirts, koozies, and a pair of tickets to the game. For the full unauthorized Big Red Breakfast schedule, head over to 1620thezone.com.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Kathy Canoyer. 'Tis the season at Glass House Market with Canoyer Garden Center. We'd like to invite you to come shop our stunning holiday market, where you'll find a perfect gift for that special someone or the Christmas decor you've been wanting. Join our family for the open house November 5th and 6th to help us celebrate the holiday season. Glass House Market, located within Canoyer Garden Center on 66th Street between Cornhusker and Highway 370 in Papillion.
At Canoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
The 2022-23 Creighton sports season holds great promise for competing for Big East and national honors, and 1620 The Zone will be there all year long. The 1620 The Jays podcast covers all of Blue Jay sports, from volleyball, soccer, and cross country in the fall to basketball in the winter, plus baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and rowing. Join me, John Bishop, along with Josh Peterson and Connor Happer each week for interviews with Creighton student athletes and coaches. It's the 1620 The Jays podcast. New episodes each Friday on 1620thezone.com and on Twitter at 1620 The Jays.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
From the four corners of the globe, the world's greatest set their sights on one goal. The Breeders' Cup World Championships are coming to iconic Keeneland this November 4th and 5th. Over 2 days and 14 championship races, the pinnacle of international thoroughbred racing will put the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding spectacle before your very eyes. Coverage begins Friday on USA and continues Saturday on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com/2022 to learn more.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year, and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right. Free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
All right, quickly here in the NFL. So Matt Ryan is kind of hurt. Kind of. Schefter says that he's nursing a sprained shoulder. Other people are saying he's been benched. But the Colts will be turning to Sam Ehlinger to start their football game this weekend.
Matt Ryan is nursing a 37-year-old
body.
Yeah, body.
His body is that old. He also looks at most of the time when he plays football. The Colts are playing host to the Washington football team Commanders this weekend, home of one Taylor Heineke. So for the almost exclusive window on Sunday, gosh, so there's three Fox games Sunday in the 325 slot.
Oh,
which one are we getting? Colts, Commanders, 49ers, Rams, Giants, Seahawks.
Niners, Rams. We'll know on Wednesday.
You're probably right.
But I think just the cities of Indianapolis and Washington, D.C.
The poor folks who are getting Colts, Commanders on Sunday for the Sam Ehlinger Taylor Heineke Bowl. God bless you. God bless you all. The most interesting game is probably the Giants and the Seahawks, because the Seattle Seahawks are 3-point favorites and they're 4-3,
and they're winning the NFC West right now.
Yep. And Kenneth Walker is #good.
Yeah, and they found a little running game.
If you picked up Kenneth Walker off of waivers a couple weeks ago, you like how that's sitting for you right now.
Absolutely.
Definitely not speaking from experience.
Oh, you didn't trade any draft picks to get that one?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Good for you. Good for you.
Just be in the right place at the right time. That's all. Josh's top 5 from the weekend. Josh, go ahead.
Here we go.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Fifth biggest winner of the weekend, Tennessee fans. That's right, just the fans. They found out that freshman A.J. Marquez's family lost their Florida home in the recent hurricane and raised over $70,000 for the kid this weekend.
Wow.
The Volunteer fans didn't even care that A.J. plays for UT Martin, Tennessee's opponent.
Oh, so they had to, help out this guy. This is good, but also had to buy the field goal posts.
Yeah, apparently Volunteers fans are just loaded. That's a good point by you. I had not thought of that.
So they got it all. They had field goal posts when they played that game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they
had a field that wasn't just chopped up from people stealing all the grass.
ESPN did a #long read on the 6-day process to get that field playable.
Okay. I would read that.
That's up on ESPN.com.
I'm into turf and things. I would read that. I'll read that probably after the show.
Poll question: are you into turf and things?
Not surf and turf.
Nope.
Turf and things.
Turf and things. Yeah. So I thought that was a heartwarming story, and I put it in there.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the Houston Astros.
Oh.
They did America a favor and eliminated the Yankees. Even Rob Manfred couldn't rig this one in favor of New York.
Okay, now hold on. They did America a favor because I personally would have rather seen the Yankees win this series.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, there was no winner in this ALCS for America.
No, there was not.
Yeah.
But I don't think the better scenario is the Astros winning.
Okay.
That's just where I'm at.
I'll hear you out on that. I don't know which way I would lean.
We can deal with this as a society. We can deal with the Yankees fans.
We're accustomed to that. We know how to do it.
We can deal with them.
You're going to hear a lot of.
Although I do appreciate them being really sad and now wanting to fire Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. And they're wondering what life is going to be like post Aaron Judge. Like, are we the Yankees and are we going into a rebuild here? No, the answer is no, by the way. But, they're definitely in fire everything mode this morning.
Yes, absolutely. As far as the Astros go, they're undefeated in the playoffs. Ted Cruz is their biggest fan. And the Houston Astros are World Series bound. We're going to win one for Dusty. We're going to get that legit championship. You said we couldn't do it without cheating.
But that is it. That is the redeeming quality of the Astros. I got it.
Is Dusty?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
can you not root for Dusty?
You got to.
This is the redeeming quality of the Houston Astros.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
That and Jeremy Pena doesn't have the stink on him. And I appreciated that he won a LCS MVP because he's been if there's an American League shortstop who's not Bobby Witt Jr. that it's going to win the Rookie of the Year this year, it's going to be Jeremy Pena.
Redemption, a good segue to number 3 on our list of winners from the weekend. It's Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo has like a dark horse Heisman campaign brewing right now.
Absolutely.
This is really weird.
The former Auburn quarterback transferred to Oregon in the offseason after a fair amount of ridicule. His Ducks hosted College Game Day this past weekend. It was dark when the show started, like dark. It was weird. Oregon beat an undefeated UCLA team 45-30, and I'm not even sure it was that close. And Nix kind of balled out. He went 22 for 28, 283 yards and 5 touchdowns, including a second quarter that consisted of him going 11 for 11, 151 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that's good.
That's good. Breaking news. So, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix has 1,809 yards passing, completing 71.5% of his passes, 17 touchdowns to 3 picks. And he played Georgia. And this is a top 10 team.
I said on Friday, hey, we don't really talk about Oregon after that loss to Georgia, do we?
No.
And boy, did they show me.
2 out of Bo Nix's 3 picks were in that one game.
Yeah, the Georgia defense will make you look silly. Also,
something to keep an eye on there.
Going back to that Colts story, Colts head coach Frank Reich says right now the move is for Sam to be the starter for the rest of the season.
Hello. Matt Ryan is done.
Dunzo.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Number 2, the Philadelphia Phillies. Congratulations, gang.
The gang goes to the World Series.
That's right. That's actually an episode that exists because that show's been on so long. The last time the Phillies were good,
2009.
Yeah.
They went to the World Series.
Let's see. I've given a lot of these Bryce Harper takes, so I'll spare the audience. He did hit a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th to snatch a victory from the Padres and send the Fighting Phils to their first World Series since 2009.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good story. I love when a team gets to do this, and a city gets to do this, and they get to rally. It's crazy in Philadelphia right now. We have the undefeated Eagles as well. When a city sort of comes alive like this,
sports are fun when Philly's good.
I gave my reservations about the situation and just the playoff format before, but on the other hand, it is really cool to watch. It's great to watch. Whether it's the Bryce Harper redemption story, but I don't even know that it's that. It's it's a city coming alive and treating this like, it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a franchise that hasn't had very much success, especially recently. They haven't been even 500 since, they were 500, I think, last year. And before that, it wasn't since 2009.
Yeah.
They're on the Royals plan right now.
There's a ton of local news clips of, hey, here's a little boy giving a finger to the local news reporter.
Yeah, Philly!
The kid's 10. Why is he giving the finger? That's Philly. That's the charmingness of Philly, I guess.
So they went 82-80 last year, 81-81 in 19, and then 81-81 in 12. Won 102 games in 11, lost in the NLDS. So, they had a 5-year stretch where they went to the playoffs every year from 07 to 11 and basically haven't really sniffed it since.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot before that either. So, it's cool. It's a beaten down franchise that did a lot. They have a good roster.
Mm-hmm.
But they are going to play the role of the underdog here in the World Series, which is cool.
And if they win the World Series, you can win some money by picking them to win now because they're a sizable underdog according to FanDuel Sportsbook.
What do you have a number?
Happer. I believe it was plus 150 to win the World Series. You can find
That's
bigger.
correct.
You can find bigger action if you go deeper into the game, like who wins game 1 and then who wins the series. If you go Houston Philly, it's like plus 500.
It sure is. But we need the Phillies to win game 1 so the Astros don't win 8 straight playoff games.
That's right. I forgot. So we'll be rooting for that for you.
A Phillies sweep is plus 1,100 if you're interested.
A Phillies sweep is plus 1,100.
Yes,
Is that what you said?
yes.
Wow.
Phillies in 6 plus 500. Phillies in 7 plus 550.
Now I've made my stance on the Phillies and Bryce Harper well known, but I don't want the Astros to win the World Series.
No, nobody wants that.
No,
This is not fun.
Yeah, you got to root for the dog. It's more fun to root for the dog.
Sure is.
Which leads us to number 1. Who is it? Is it the Washington Commanders and Taylor Heineke? No.
Make it so, number 1.
Well, who could it be?
Number 1.
It's a team with a different XFL quarterback at the helm. It's the Carolina Panthers.
Hell yeah.
They've been at the bottom of the bottom 5 for weeks.
The Bucks are trash.
They fired their coach. This week they traded their best player away, but they still found enough will to beat Tom Brady and the Bucks. Also holding TB12 to 3 points on offense.
Oh, you want to talk about the personification of bad vibes? How about throwing it deep on the first play and Mike Evans having nobody even remotely close to him? The closest defender fell down, but he would have been cooked anyway. And he is by himself, and he just alligator armed it.
Dropped.
And picked up the ball on a bounce and chucked it as far as he possibly could. When that happens on the first play of the game, yeah, bad vibes.
Might be in for one.
And then you have to ask the question of, did he sign an autograph for the official in the tunnel?
Yeah, there's a weird video floating around of the referees coming up to him in the tunnel, and there was a piece of paper that
not sure what happened.
Moves
there.
around. Yeah,
not sure what was going on there.
Probably.
But yes, this is about the Panthers.
Yes,
this is a pro Panther show.
They could have easily packed it in and said, well, you know what, nothing to play for this year. That was their Super Bowl on Sunday. Connor, last week on kind of short notice, PJ Walker got the start. 0 completions over 1 yard. This week against the Buccaneers, 16 of 22, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Give the man a chance. Let PJ cook.
Let PJ cook. There it is. Carolina Panthers, your biggest winner of the weekend.
How about that? We love the underdogs. This is a Phillies and a Panthers show now. Now you can't get on board with the Phillies.
I can't.
I know you want to, but you don't have to say it out loud.
I'm on board with the underdog.
Okay. Thank you, Josh. That is the top 5. Still plenty to come in the 1 o'clock hour. We will we'll spin the wheel, but we have the 7-way tie scenario in the Big Ten West from the Sickos Committee. Doesn't seem that crazy.
It could happen.
It could happen. And if you're an agent of chaos like we are, this is what you're rooting for. We'll be back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Sunday morning is all about church, eggs, and the Sunday paper. But right next to church, it's made for hot takes and reactions. Severe Reactions. Michael Severe is back on 1620 The Zone with Severe Reaction. Sundays 8 to 10 and doesn't hold back on what went right and what went wrong on Saturday. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
If you're like most Americans, you're pretty much in disbelief watching the world lose its mind. As we all know, global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, are you ready? Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. Our food kits are in stock and ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Having food storage in your home beats standing in government food lines. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com for $50 off any repair.
Always on time, or you don't pay a dime.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed from their respective state or county.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Hey, so, Nebraska put out their depth chart today. Wasn't anything particularly notable on there with the exception of, I don't know, this is like unexpected, but Nick Henrich not listed on the depth chart. I mean, that would only, and we'll talk to Mickey Joseph, we'll talk tomorrow. But I don't think there's any surprise there. I don't think you'll see much of Nick Henrich for the rest of the season. So the depth charts are out across the country today, including in Iowa City, where they actually did something.
Quarterback controversy, for sure.
And they actually did something during the Ohio State game on Saturday. Currently at quarterback listed as Spencer Petras or Alex Padilla.
Oh.
An or at quarterback. Keeping the mystery alive is Brian Ferentz, or Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz and crew over there.
Oh, yeah. You got to keep Northwestern on their toes. You don't want them prepping for either guy.
Because as you know, they're going to do a drastically different thing based on who the quarterback is, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, now that's what they should do. They have very different skill sets, but yeah, not really going to do much different, I don't think. But it's an or situation. We'll keep an eye on Iowa, who has the Sickos game of the year this week against Northwestern.
Wow, game of the year.
I mean, I think so, right?
It's certainly on the short list.
One of the lowest totals we'll see all year.
Lower than the Iowa Rutgers.
They were in the mid-30s, right?
Okay.
They were in the
Yeah.
mid-30s. So we started here at 31, or I think I saw it as low as 30.5 to open. And we are now at 35.5. So
Okay.
we've gone up quite a bit in the Iowa Northwestern game. But we're rooting for a specific result this weekend. And we're actually rooting for a lot of Northwestern over the final few games of the year here. Why? Because there is a scenario that could get the Big Ten West to a 7-way tie that would result in Northwestern being the Big Ten West champion. Are we excited about this prospect? Yes, indeed we are. I'll give you some of the details. Not all that unattainable. It would require Northwestern going 3-2 over their final 5 games with wins against it would require them going 3-2 with actually a loss this week to Iowa to start, and then Ohio State, and then ripping off 3 wins to finish the season against Minnesota, Purdue, and Illinois. What would this need from Nebraska's standpoint? They would need to win this weekend against Illinois. They would need to lose to Minnesota, Michigan, and Iowa, but beat Wisconsin. Does that seem like a likely way for Nebraska to get to 5 wins? Actually, it's not that unlikely. We'll say that. I mean, that is one of the things that we are curious about in the final 5 games. Can they get to 6? Can they find 3 more wins out of the 5? I think most people say, yeah, you're going to have a tough time against Michigan, and Illinois is probably your next toughest game after that. Is there a scenario where Nebraska finishes the season at 6 wins and win 3 out of their final 4 against Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and the coach would have already been fired on September 11th? And is that season a success? What a weird time.
That's exactly what I was.
This scenario, which you could find, and we retweeted it at a Happer show, but the Sickos committee released it. All of the Big Ten West teams' record could theoretically still be 4-5. And that would result in a tiebreaker going to your record against Big Ten West teams, and that would give the edge to Northwestern. Credit their win against Nebraska and their upcoming wins, if that were to happen, to finish things off. Could be a potentially hilarious finish to the season in the greatest sicko division in all of the sport, the Big Ten West.
For sure.
We will get only one more year of this, gentlemen and ladies. One more year of sicko Big Ten West action.
Enjoy it.
We must enjoy it while we can.
Animals.
Next year, it's just the Big Ten. All right, in 2 years, sorry. It's just the Big Ten. Next year, still the Big Ten West. Quick phone call before we hit the wheel here. We have Doug on the Les Hills Harley Davidson
hey
hotline.
guys.
Hey, Doug, what's up?
Well, I was watching the Iowa Ohio State game, and I'm not an Iowa homer by any means. I'm a Husker fan, but Ohio State's up by 37 in the 4th quarter, and they have their starters in, including Stroud.
I noticed that.
And they go for it inside the red zone on 4th and 1, and they got it. What? Why? I was so mad. So come on.
Yeah, they had their. I noticed that too, and thanks for the call, Doug. I noticed that they had their starters in late, as well. You go back to the college football playoff piece of this thing, and I think style points matter. Now, do they matter for Ohio State, who's gonna, who can they could still suffer a loss and make the college football playoff, likely because of just their standing in the sport.
Yeah.
So there's that piece of it. And I mean, for Ohio State's offense, I think you probably have to think about it this way. Like the rest of the rest of the teams in the country, and even if you minimize it to in the conference, like are thinking about at all times what's going on around us and who's doing what. Ohio State is grading itself on its own curve. They're on their own standard. So when they get an opportunity to play an actual real life good defense and they're feeling good about themselves, like I don't know, you're gonna keep guys in as long as you possibly can. I think, and I don't think it was for the purpose solely of running up the score, but there's a lot of things I think that go into that.
They're trying to win C.J. Stroud a Heisman.
I will say that I was curious why Stroud was still in there at times toward the end of the game as well.
I saw on the highlights they were up 30, chucked it deep for a touchdown.
Yeah,
to go up 36 or whatever.
Yeah, the dam sort of broke. It happened, quick when it happened. But I think for their standpoint, like you have to think about it in their shoes, and what they're thinking about is, okay, we have to feel as comfortable as we can because we're grading ourselves on our own scale. Oh, and by the way, we got Penn State next week. So like we want to feel as good as we possibly can. Could they have just slugged along and got out of there like 34-10? Yeah, they could have picked their score. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it really from a competitive standpoint. But at the same time, like Doug said, I'm not an Iowa fan. I sometimes laugh from the sickos point of view, and the sicko part of me wanted Ohio State to sort of win by a lot. All right. Want to hear from you guys, 402-951-1620. You can continue to call or text in the show. We'll take a quick break here. We got to come back with the Wheel of Coaches next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Connie Mack only won 9 pennants in his 55 years as a manager. What a bum.
Could you imagine sports radio in the time of Connie Mack? Well, I tell you, this Connie Mack guy just can't get it done. Can't win the big one. Can't get over the hump. Only 5 World Series. Connie Mack, more like Connie Hack, am I right?
That's exactly how they talked.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Much cooler Monday behind a cold front, cloudy and breezy in the morning. Northwest winds gusting around 20 miles per hour. There's a chance for spotty showers late morning through the afternoon. Any rain should be light in the metro. Afternoon highs around 57. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardie cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Fall means outdoor activities. Don't miss a moment this fall. Head over to their website today, KuglerVision.com, and schedule a consultation. Low monthly payments are available. KuglerVision.com.
Ew. Stuck in a cycle of rewashing your clothes?
Because you can't remove tough laundry odor? When detergent by itself can't cut it, use new Downy Rinse and Refresh. With a breakthrough odor-removing formula, it removes odors in 1 wash, better than the leading value detergent in 3 washes, keeping all your laundry fresh. Now you can break the cycle of rewashing with Downy Rinse and Refresh.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy paint applicators, and GRK screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
All right, last Friday, we only spun the wheel once. I think double spin Fridays might be dead. We just have so much to do on Friday.
We do have a lot to do.
We have to spin the wheel twice. So we'll
revisit.
We'll keep close tabs on that one. But Josh has the wheel all set to go for today. We have a new potential coach. How about this? It's looking more and more ACC by the day.
Yeah, very, very ACC heavy. Didn't realize that about the wheel right now.
We have Dave Clausen, who has entered the list.
A couple of ACC Daves.
ACC Daves. Along with Chris Peterson, Coach O, Hugh Freeze, Coach Prime.
Been on the wheel for a long time.
Coach Prime's been there for a while. Whipple.
It could happen. Could it? I don't know.
And the South Dakota State coach, #1 in the country, right?
Top ranked Jackrabbits.
And they won the Dakota marker.
They did.
I don't know how they did this past weekend. I'm just going to assume they didn't lose.
You don't want to have a letdown.
No. Let's give it a spin.
All right.
While I check South Dakota State's schedule. Come on. Big money. Oh man, look who it is.
We're easing into the week, I guess.
We were one away from Coach Prime, and we ended up on the Whip Show. Mark Whipple. By the way, South Dakota State is 7-1, but they lost to Iowa only. Remember? Yeah. They beat North Dakota. Now they play Indiana State this coming weekend. So I'm pretty sure they're the #1 team in the FCS right now. Okay, we landed on Mark Whipple. Now, is Mark Whipple a candidate for this job? No, he's not. Is he on Nebraska's staff right now? Yes. Will he be on Nebraska's staff next year in his current capacity? Unlikely, like really unlikely. So if we're asking if he's going to be on this staff as the head coach next year, I would call that extremely unlikely. Would you agree?
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
With that being said,
read the tea leaves.
With that being said, by the way, Mark Whipple's Wikipedia page, the picture is a photograph of him standing on the Cleveland Browns sideline with Brandon Weeden in 2012.
Certainly his most memorable moment.
I would say so. He's been a lot of places. He likes to talk about Ben Roethlisberger a lot. Our subject today is Nebraska offensive coordinator Mark Whipple, who is 65 years old, East Coast guy, played quarterback at Brown.
That's right. We did a lot of work on Brown University.
So I think we found that he, upon a follow-up, he played. There was something that made it really confusing because he had some sort of tie-in with Ron Brown.
Yeah, at Brown.
And I'm pretty sure it was at Brown. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's where the original thing came from. Yes, he coached for 4 seasons this is Ron Brown. Coached for 4 seasons at Brown before he ended up at Nebraska. Okay, Whipple. Let's go through the long and winding road of Mark Whipple as an assistant coach.
He's been everywhere, man.
As a head coach. St. Lawrence, Union, Brown, Arizona Wranglers. The Arizona Wranglers were of the USFL.
Oh, wow.
He was an offensive quality control and quarterbacks coach for the Arizona Wranglers in 1984.
Good for him.
He became the New Hampshire offensive coordinator in 1986. He became the head coach of New Haven, which is a Northeast Conference team, Division II. He was the head coach there for 6 seasons. Then he became the head coach at his alma mater, Brown, in 1994. Then off to UMass from 98 to 03. He became the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks coach from 2004 to 2006. He was with the Eagles in 2008. He was in Miami for the U as the assistant head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach from 2009 and 2010. He was the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks coach from 2011 to 2012. He went back to UMass from 2014 to 2018. He became the Pittsburgh offensive coordinator in 2019, and he became the Nebraska offensive coordinator in 2022. This is Mark Whipple, who has a head coach record of 137 and 103. He was a Super Bowl champion quarterbacks coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won a Super Bowl during his time. People forget Ben Roethlisberger.
He should talk more about his time with Ben Roethlisberger.
He was the AFCA Division 1 AA Coach of the Year in 1998, and he was the A10 Coach of the Year in 2003.
He's got the chops.
He was dominant at New Haven, decent at Brown, pretty good at UMass, and that's his the head coaching record. Okay, here we go. Mark Whipple. Gettability. What is the likelihood that Mark Whipple would accept the nomination to be Nebraska's head coach?
The likelihood of them asking and him accepting feels very low.
Yeah, you got to combine that. Let's just throw out the them asking part, right? Because I think that's what we've done in the past. Like, yes, we're talking about the likelihood, but that's a separate thing. The gettability is all on the person. If the long head coaching search that Nebraska has had ends up on Mark Whipple, what is Mark Whipple's answer to that question? I'm going to say it's a definitive no.
Yeah, it feels like that's the answer he'd give at this point, sure.
I'm going to say one. I'm going to say one. I don't think he's here next year, no matter what. And I don't know that he wants to be the head coach at a place like this. Like there's a lot there.
It's a lot of stress and pressure that I just don't need in my life right now. I'm Mark Whipple.
Fan buzz if hired. What would the fans say if Nebraska hired Mark Whipple as their new head coach? Would they be excited? Would they be confused? You should be confused.
Yes. Confusion is the correct emotion.
I would say that there would be some small level of comfort simply because you're ending up on a familiar name.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. We know what he brings to the table. So instead of a 1, it's a 2. And there would be a small subsection of the population who would say, wow, this is exciting. We're going to throw it 700 times a game. This is going to be great.
We won't know what to do.
Yeah, most people would be triggered, though. Recruiting acumen. I think you stay at the standard 3.
I think he knows a good quarterback when he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, I don't know.
Projected success. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would not
he's 65. Like it.
Yeah. But outside of that, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what the sort of vision would be for like, that's not how I view Mark Whipple. Offensive coordinator Mark Whipple. Okay. He's got some thoughts. Head coach Mark Whipple. Like, what do you want your program to look like? Are you able to think like that? That's not how I view him. So I don't know. Not very good. 2. Chaos factor.
Now here's one.
Now you could convince me that it's extremely high. You could also convince me that okay, they just hired their offensive coordinator. So I'll go a little bit of both. I'll say it's a 4 on the chaos factor. He gets 1 point bump back down just because he's here right now. Would scare divisional opponents? 1.
Yeah.
Salary command. I think you'd have to pay Mark Whipple a lot of money for him to take the job. Right?
That would be the thing. Like
but with that
I
being
just couldn't
said,
say no to the money.
Like he makes about $1 million right now. Like, is he? If you said, "Hey, Mark Whipple, how's $6 million to be the head coach at Nebraska?"
I still think he probably turns it down, but he sleeps on it where it would have been a flat no earlier.
Let's say that then. Salary command is a 3.
Okay.
Awkwardness at opening press conference. Well, I don't think he's particularly awkward. In fact, he's blunt, straight shooter. Yeah. But it would be awkward in the sense of like, okay, what's going on here? We did this entire coaching search and we didn't hire Mickey Joseph, but we hired Mark Whipple.
But we hired the other guy who was here the whole time.
That's crazy.
But didn't coach any games.
I'd probably a 4 here too. Readiness for job. He's got a lot of experience. He coached Ben Roethlisberger.
He did.
And it's he hasn't been a major head coach ever, unless you count New Haven as major college football.
I mean, it's big, but it's not this level.
It's the biggest show in town in New Haven, Connecticut. 1, 2. He's got some experience.
Okay.
Fit with Trev. Not sure I would connect the dots and say this guy is a real fit with Trev. This is what he wants.
Yeah.
Also a 2.
Wow.
Respectfully a 2. I think there are some guys, and I think the predecessor, the person who most recently had this job full time, the head coach at Nebraska, there are some people who are just probably better cut out to be offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
I think Mark Whipple falls into that category. I think Scott Frost falls into that category. And there's the report card on Mark Whipple. Yes, it's true. We just graded it. Mark Whipple. All right, we will come back. We have the poll questions. We'll tell you what to watch tonight on the other side, right here on 1620 The Zone. One of the things we love betting on the NFL, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. FanDuel Sportsbook has made it so easy, though, and they are a big reason why I like betting on the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook, you can combine props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called the Same Game Parlay, and it's perfect for a game like tonight. It's perfect for Monday Night Football. We have Bears and Patriots this week. If you're into some more sickos action, maybe you like a whole bunch of turnover numbers tonight for Justin Fields or him to throw an interception. Ramondre Stevenson has been hot on the ground. Maybe take his over to score an anytime touchdown. Or you can go totals, overs, unders, have the Patriots cover the 8.5, whatever you might look into on the Same Game Parlay tonight, but it's perfect for Monday Night Football. Also, you get the fast withdrawals. You get the live betting piece of it as well. Odd boosts and specials every day. There's something out there. There's the popular Same Game Parlay features. There's everything for you right at your fingertips in the FanDuel Sportsbook, and there's no feeling like nailing a Same Game Parlay. So lock in your bet today with the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code Happer. Promo code Happer. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as a non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
With some big-time events coming up, including the Luke Combs concert at the CHI Health Center right here in Omaha, October 28th and 29th. Be sure to check out my friends at ticketsforless.com. It's not all about sports. It's about shows, and it's also about finding the best tickets at ticketsforless.com. So whether you want to see the pageantry of Memorial Stadium on a Saturday, catch a game at Arrowhead Stadium, Tickets for Less is your source for the best tickets. Also, without those crazy per-ticket fees you'll pay on other sites, trust me, you'll keep going back to ticketsforless.com. Compare and save the day at ticketsforless.com.
French food, and not just small portions and high prices. Les Voltaire is anything but. Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France for mouthwatering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts. Dinner with friends, special occasions, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines and craft cocktails with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home, just like they've been doing for more than 2 decades. Les Voltaire just off 156th and West Dodge Road in the Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage.
The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Bournemouth's on relegation watch in the Premier League.
Wow. Sad.
Only 12 minutes until the first kick between West Ham. Well, this is a huge one for relegation. West Ham is 17th in the Premier League, only 2 points above relegation zone.
Both teams got to have it. Something's got to give.
I bet that's not on your what to watch.
It is not. Spoiler alert.
Interesting. Well, you could still watch it. It's coming up here in 12 minutes. Relegation zone. So relegation is the last 3 teams as of right now. Yeah. West Ham right on the other side of it.
Right on the cut line.
The 3 teams being relegated at the moment, if the season ended today. Leeds United, Wolves,
classic,
and Nottingham Forest.
I thought they'd do better this year.
Yeah, me too. I had much higher hopes for Nottingham Forest.
Maybe the disappointment of the season.
Hey, did you see Joe Klatt's take over the weekend?
I saw he said something hilarious. Like,
he was stirring it up last night.
So, last night?
Last night
No, I didn't see what he said last night.
Yeah, he just chimes in with this fireball last night. Does anyone think this is out of nowhere? Does anyone think Clemson could actually win either division in the SEC or the Big Ten East? Do you think they could finish better than 3rd in the SEC East or the Big Ten East? I don't either.
3rd in the Big Ten East?
Yes.
Is that the bar we're setting?
He doesn't think they can finish better than 3rd in the Big Ten East.
Do I think they're better than Ole Miss? Or no, the East. I'm sorry, South Carolina.
No, the SEC. Well, I think he means the SEC West. He said either division in the SEC or the Big Ten East.
Okay, so
like that would be you have to be better than one of Michigan or Penn State.
Yeah.
Are you better than Michigan or Penn State?
And
then in the West,
they would probably beat Penn State in a football game.
Would you finish 3rd in the East, which would be, we already know the 2 in Tennessee and Georgia.
Mm-hmm. South Carolina or Kentucky would be the 3rd team.
Yeah. You better than one of those teams.
I think they're better than South Carolina. I don't know about Kentucky.
I just love the national college football guys. And Joe Klatt, I love. He's really good. And he knows what he's talking about. But I love when they just, it's like, all right, time to log on to Twitter and just fire
one off.
Just get a fireball in there real quick.
I mean, they don't look great.
Because they know, I think, what they say really,
They know there's fan base.
I mean,
there's passion.
If Joe Klatt did a tweet about Nebraska, we'd spend an entire show about it.
Sure.
That's just how it would go.
I mean, Clemson's probably going to finish 4th and make the playoff and lose 31-7 to Georgia. Like, we see it coming.
I mean, they're okay. They got a situation brewing. I mean, they still haven't really done the quarterback thing yet.
Yeah, bad DJ showed up for the first time really this season.
But they got Cole. Cole saved the day. And they got the pick at the end. And I thought that said more about Syracuse than Clemson.
A lot of people sleeping on Syracuse. And yes, I'm aware.
That was you.
Yes, I was that person. I know. The refs cost Syracuse that game with the hit out of bounds.
Josh, I believe we both went 3-3, by the way, in picks. Or 2-3, potentially.
Oh.
Yeah. Either way, we still have the same record, which is classic.
Yes.
Classic Connor Happer show. All right, poll questions. People took this one the wrong way.
And I knew they would. That's why I phrased it the way I phrased it.
Are your grandparents cold? Are their houses warm? Yes, their houses are warm. 77% said yes. Have you ever bought a used bed?
Hell no.
No, I don't think I have.
Don't plan on it either.
I'll splurge on the bed. 85% say no.
Okay. Still feel that might be a little too high. Like, that's too many people buying a used bed still.
Are you an avid garage sale attendee? I am not.
No.
85. So more people say they don't go to garage sales than they have bought used beds. 85% say they don't go to garage sales often.
I believe there's one more.
Let's go up here. Are you into turfing things?
Yeah, kind of.
I absolutely am into turfing things. So I'll read that ESPN story coming up here shortly. 58% are like me and you, Josh.
Wow.
They are into turf and things.
Welcome.
What are we watching tonight?
We're going to watch the NFL.
Yeah, that's right, because it's on.
Yeah, not because we want to, not because they're doing a good job of anything. It is Bears-Patriots tonight. 7 o'clock, ESPN and ESPN2. There is a Manning cast. Omaha Productions has not tweeted out the guest list yet.
Pick a side, any side.
Belichick can pass Hallis for all-time wins.
George Hallis.
With a win today. So the irony that it's against the Bears today. The National Basketball Association tips off at 6:30 tonight. Magic at Knicks. Could I interest you in this one from the Garden?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You go straight to hell.
9 o'clock on NBA TV. I believe it is still blacked out here in Omaha. Nuggets Trailblazers. The league's national channel still follows local blackout restrictions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if you turn it on the NBA channel, the NBA TV, like it'll just give you the message and it'll say you can't watch. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it'll tell you to go to hell.
Yeah. But your Nuggets are on TV tonight, Connor.
Well, kind of.
8 p.m., VH1. The Surreal Life returns after a decade off the air. This year's cast, this is like The Real World, but with celebrities. That's the premise of the show, if you don't remember. Stormy Daniels is on the show this season.
Oh, I remember her.
Dennis Rodman, Tamar Braxton, and Frankie Muniz, among many others who you may have heard less of than the people I listed. Those are the most famous people on the show this season. And Disney Plus has Dancing with the Stars tonight. It's Michael Bublé night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to make fun of Michael Bublé there.
Any athletes still kicking on that show?
I don't know. There's 10 people still on the show. I don't know who's on it. I assume there's probably a gymnast or somebody.
A gymnast or somebody?
A gymnast or somebody.
I don't know who's left on Dancing with the Stars. But
here's who has left. Okay,
why don't they tell us who's still there?
Yeah.
All the things that tell us, oh, here's who got kicked off.
Yeah.
Tell us who's still there.
It didn't tell me who's. I don't know who's on it.
I'm not going to watch it to find out anyway. Bears plus 8.5, Patriots minus 8.5.
8.5, huh?
8.5. I'm sticking with the theme.
Bears cover.
The theme is primetime dogs cover.
Bears cover in a game with a dash of sickos element. Not full Broncos, but a dash, a sprinkling.
Is it still the Zappy Hour tonight?
No, it is Mac Jones expected to return for the Pats.
I hope he gets benched halfway through the game so it could be the Zappy Hour.
Well,
again.
they might get hostile in Foxborough tonight, and they might go to Zappy.
Bears plus 8.5. Why not?
Yeah.
And then they'll not cover that, and they will be firmly inside Josh's not top 5 NFL teams tomorrow.
Correct. Expect a shakeup. Commanders won, Panthers won. There's going to be some shakeups.
Oh, no, there's going to be a fight. There's a fight for that top 5 right now. The Packers are really trying to bang down that door.
Yeah, they won in. All the teams won in my top 5.
Thank you, Josh. That is the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio.